Can't believe this is going to happen. This is wild. Woo! Wild. Telling you, it's wild. Check 1, 2, mic check. Check 1, 2, mic check. That's the one right there, baby. What's going on? Here we go. How's everybody doing? Good afternoon. We got a special program coming up for you here in just a moment. I got a lot of stuff here I got some technical stuff I got to do in the background, but just got off the phone with a close friend of mine, and we're gonna get right into it here. Well, kicking around on R2 right now. How's everybody doing out there? People just joining. And we got a special day coming up for you here. I'm gonna leave the chats open right now or today. Give me one quick second here. So if you're joining us, I'm gonna try to open up the Twitch chat here in just a minute. As we got something special for you today. Give me one quick second here. Back over there and take care of that. A little bit of a roll here happening. In one quick second here. Close that there. Hold on here. Get that posted. All right. How's everybody doing out there? How are y'all doing? Nino, how are you doing? Stretching Walls, how are you doing? I'm out of my spread. I sold my spread. I am very happy with it. Thanks for asking. I appreciate that. What's going on here? Turn that off over there. I don't know what that's all about. How low can you go? Hold on here. We got a couple things we got to do. So, for today, so let's take a couple. We have some stuff to talk about quickly. Let me do some YouTube stuff here. I got to do some editing here in the background. I'm so excited right now. I actually heard back today from a close friend of mine. And we don't get to talk as much as we'd like to. He's been very busy, of course. I've been very busy. And he right now is stuck in... Right now he is stuck. My friend here is stuck in Israel. I don't know if I'll tell you where he is in Israel. I mean, if he wants to tell you where he is, he can. So I'm gonna leave the chat open today in YouTube. 2 subscribers, which means you don't have to sign up for anything. You just click subscribe. On YouTube, you can just chat there. And then on Twitch, I'm gonna attempt right now, if I can, to open up the chat to anyone. So give me just a second here. Let me see if I can do that. Let me see if I can chat settings. Hold on here. Want to let everybody be able to talk today. Subscriber only chat. Turn that off. Okay, so it looks like everybody can chat today on Twitch and YouTube. Yeah, so if you guys don't know who James Roland is, he owns Meme Stock Watch on the internet. You can look that up, Meme Stock Watch or memestockwatch.com. He also has a great Discord community. On Discord, I'm actually a member of his community. He's got great people that belong to his community. Like loyal, help each other out, retailers. His name's James Roland, also known as J-Roll. We're going to attempt to get him on the show here in just a few moments because he was vacationing in Israel, and I haven't seen him. I heard he was stuck there. I contacted him through Signal this morning, and he was actually able to get through using Signal to talk to him this morning. And so we're going to have him on the show here in just a little bit. We're going to do an interview with him from Israel. I know that some people are asking about him. Yesterday, we talked about him in the show yesterday. And so that's what we're going to try to do today is get him on the show, find out how he's doing, and check in with him. He gives great market insights. If you don't follow him already, you can follow him at JROL17_. You can actually just, as a matter of fact, I just posted the link to this video, this live stream on Twitter. So if you could, if you'd like that post that I just made and repost it, I would appreciate it. If you're watching right now, if you could repost the link to this to this specific show on your Twitter handle, I'd appreciate it because there's a lot of people that love James Roland. He's got a lot of followers out there on Twitter and stuff like that. We have a lot of friends in common as well. So I'd appreciate if you could whoever just reposted that. Someone just reposted it right now, so I appreciate whoever it was that reposted that. Yeah, baby, you're double geeking, stretching walls. I appreciate it, man. So we're gonna get him to stop in, and it's funny too is James and I both have similar viewpoints on life, politics, all that kind of stuff. And I was talking to him earlier, and his take is the same as mine. It's really close. So we're gonna get him on here in just one moment here. Just one quick second. Yeah, so first let me find out what you guys are saying inside the chat here. Let me go through the chat. How are y'all doing out there? So we broke through R2. Let's do one quick market update and talk about the market really quick, okay? So let's first do a market update here. Now, we got some stuff to look at. We're coming into some resistance on HYG at 73.40, okay? 73.40. Now, there's a giant gap to close on HYG up to 73.90 or so. Dixie is blasting down to the depths of hell. That's always good to see. They have a real, not firm, but a big, two signposts on Dixie would be 105.43, 105.08. So we're getting close to that. Another key point here is keep your eyes on NASDAQ. Remember yesterday in stream I said to you that big target to the upside for NASDAQ was 15,288 or something like that. It's right there right now. So it is there at this moment. Tesla with a little bit of a roll on it at this point. A little bit of flattening out of Apple and some kind of bottoming going on in VIX at the moment. So all in all, this could be the end of this run. There's a little bit of flattening here. If you watch, there's a little bit of flattening going on in price here. We like when the white line is vertical. When it starts to flatten, it's not necessarily bearish, but it is a signpost here to show that some of the upward thrust is slowing slightly. Now, as long as the 1 minute trigger and even a recheck of the 5 hold, without a cross. Still bullish here to the upside, but keep your wits about you as we attempt to trade this. Now, there's one thing on your side. If you are a bull here, not necessarily one thing on your side, but an important thing that I want you to realize that's happening here. Let me switch over to the trigger screen, and I want to show you guys something, okay? So you might be, we're sitting right parked here on R2, right? You have two crosses taking place right now. You've got the half hour and the hourly trigger set up to cross here very soon. If we can get these crosses above the daily trigger by the half hour and full hour trigger, I'd be interested to see what the reaction will be if there's some kind of a roll to the downside and check of those half hour and 1 hour triggers, if they'll hold. If this gray line comes up, this green line comes up, come down here, check these things. And if you get this confirmation check on the daily trigger with price and the hourly trigger, and were successfully hold, it's extremely bullish. It sets up the possibility for highly reduced volatility and much higher prices to the upside. That's that 4,400 and that 4,500 targets that are way up there. So we're going to pay attention to this as these crosses take place. You should see a reaction as the half hour crosses, a small reaction. Then as this, if this hourly trigger crosses, you should see another violent move to the upside, believe it or not. So we'll wait and see how that rolls itself out. Let me see what you guys are talking about. I appreciate that. Give me more caffeine. Let me see what we got here. You got Biden speaking at 1 p.m. Yeah, I made money. I'm very happy. I made all my fall money. I've made all my fall money at this point. So I can day trade for the next fucking 3 months and not worry about anything. So I'm pretty happy here where we are. So we got one more target to the upside. We got 440.31. Give me just a second here. I'm going to try to send an invitation link right now to James Roland, to J-Roll, and see if we can get him on the show. So just give me a brief moment here as I set this up. And we'll probably have to look at AMC, and we'll look at Qs and AMC and GME, and we'll get the insights as well from James here in just a quick second here. Give me one quick second. How many people out there were going? I mean, I got a bunch of questions for you guys. Hold on here. Let's see here if I can get this up. Start an instant. I'm probably going to have to turn some stuff off here. Hold on a second here. I'm probably going to have to let me see how I can go about doing this. Turn this off, and I'll turn this off. Check 1, 2. Can you hear me on this microphone in the stream? Yeah, you can. You can hear me on this stream. Let me see how to invite. I wonder if I can just invite him from here. See if we can get him on the show here. Give me one quick second. I got to send him a text message. Hold on one second here. Maybe I can send it. Give me one quick second here. Where is the collab cam? There it is, right there. Start collab cam. Copy link. All right, let's see if we get James Roland here. I should probably switch. Give me one quick second here. I'm going to try to switch some of this up. How do I do that? How do I change this up? How y'all doing out there? Yeah, J-Roll's going to be live on the show here in just a moment. I'm going to try to switch over to... let me see if I can get him. Let me see if he can even log in here. I just sent him a link, so we'll see if he joins us here in just a minute. He should be here in just a few moments. Push this over. And I don't know where to put the... I feel bad. I feel like I need to put him... I want to keep him like front and center with whatever we're doing. Maybe the trigger screen, does that have... It has a collab screen, doesn't it? Okay, so this might be better for us over here. Main screen. Let's see if he joins us. How y'all doing? Yeah, hey Steve, Millie brother, how you doing, man? I don't know if he's gonna join us or not. I'm trying to get him to connect right now. I might have to go through Google Meet. That might be the way for us to do this. Let me check. Oh, he's here. Looks like he's here. Looks like we got him. Oh yeah. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Hold on. Let me see if I can show you on stream, brother. Hold on. Let me see. Share. For some reason, it's not showing you. Collab cam. Hold on, brother. Having a hard time showing you here. I don't know why. And I can't hear you either. You know what I might have to do, bro? Can you hear me at least? Put your finger number 1 up if you can hear me. Okay. So you're not on my end. We can't hear you or see you. So I'm going to do is I'm going to send you a new link via Google Meet, and I'll do a screen capture so we can get you on that way, okay? Streamlabs is not doing it. You look handsome, by the way. All right, I'll see you in a minute. All right, hold on here. We're going to try this a different way. Let's try it a different way. Hold on a second here. We're gonna. I don't know if this is gonna work, but Streamlabs is like, "Fuck you! You're not doing any of this." Streamlabs is like, "Sorry, buddy." All right, let's see if we can get add others. Okay, let's see if we can get him on this way. J-Roll's coming. He's going to be here in like 2 seconds. Like 2 minutes. He should join us quickly. I don't know exactly how to get... shoot, I got to be able to get... Let me see. He says he's on. I don't see him. You're not here. He says he's not here. Others. I think you're in the old. Hold on 1 second here. J-Roll. Let's see if we can get him in this one. Oh, yeah, baby. Here he is.
This worked?
Dude, can you see me?
I can see you.
I can see you too.
Reason, my camera's off.
Okay, so I can see you now. Let me let's see if let's see how I can get you on here. Hold on here. Oh yeah, there he is. Now, hey, if you're watching out there, looks like his picture is frozen, but if you guys are watching on Twitch and YouTube right now, James, can you just say something, like do a mic check? Yeah, I'm losing him. Let me check it again. Join now. James, are you still there? Looks like I'm losing him. We're having a hard time getting James on right now. We're having a little bit of a we're having some technical issues in the background here. James, I can't hear you. If you can hear me, there's a chat box.
Oh, that work?
That worked, dude.
All right. What's going on?
Hold on. Let's try this again, brother. Say something.
How about now?
All right. If you're watching on YouTube or Twitch, can you let me know in the chat if you can hear James Roland talking? Say something, Jamie. Just be like, "What up, brothers,
sisters?" How's it going, everybody?
Dude, wow. You guys can hear him. Okay, they can hear him just fine. You guys see the pictures right now? James, you want to tell them where you are?
Yeah, so I'm in center Jerusalem right now. It's relatively quiet now. About 24 hours ago were the last sirens. And yeah, I mean, a couple of days ago, we were just sitting out here on the balcony. Here's what it looks like.
Hold on, James.
And
Hold on, James. Hold on, James. I gotta make you like a full screen, man. Hold on here, brother. I gotta show the full screen of where you are because that's some crazy shit. Hold on one second here. Give me one quick second here. Oh yeah, done. There you go, brother. Full screen, baby. You're getting the whole show. We got you. Go outside and do that again. Show us where you're at. People want to know. They're in the chat, blowing up. They're going crazy right now. Is that a balcony? Is that smoke outside, or is that just fog? What is that? Lightning, thunder? And you're in a hotel or an apartment right now, aren't you? And when did you? Well, let me ask you a bunch of questions. So number one, just so you guys all out there know, this is James Roland. This is J Roll. He's one of the partners and founders of Meme Stonk Watch. If you guys don't know it, it's www.memestonk, STONK, watch.com. Nope, shit. Stock Watch. But we've been friends for a long time. He's got a kick-ass Discord with a massive group of trader friends that are in that Discord with him. Those guys are banging it out all the time. He's got Gavin May doing all the LA Wave stuff for him. If you don't know who he is, he's all over Twitter. You got to follow him. He follows AMC, all the GME, all that stuff, and he's the guy. So you guys probably know him from the show too in the past, right? So what? All right, keep going, Jim. When did you get to Israel? You don't take any vacations. You work all. I say you work all week long, then you're working all night long, then all weekend. Matter of fact, when you and I talk, it's a window, right? Like I'm leaving right now. I've got from 4 to 6. Then I see my wife. Hold on a second. Hold on. They're saying no audio. Can you guys hear James right now? No, James, say something again. Hold on a second here. Hold on one second here, mate. Hold on a second here. All right, James, say something again.
how about now?
All right, we're just gonna leave it here, James. You got to start from the beginning. None of these people heard any of this stuff. So
Okay, no problem. We're on now.
Let's start with. I gotta do the introduction. This is James Roland. This is J Roll. It's my boy, close personal friend of mine. He's got a website called memestockwatch.com. He also has a Discord with very loyal, close, tight knit community of traders. We have a lot of overlap from our traders and his traders. If you don't know who he is, you got to follow him on Twitter. It's JRoll. Is it JRoll _ right? JRoll 17 _
Yeah.
on Twitter. We've been friends for a long time. This guy's helped me out in unbelievable ways. He's been on the show in the past. If you don't know him, follow him on Twitter. He's got Gavin May kicking ass over there doing Elliott Wave Theory for him. He's got a cool Discord, and he loves coming. If you guys want someone that'll give you actionable trades, he's the guy to follow on Twitter. So James said that he arrived, was it 17 days ago or 2 weeks ago? Start from there.
Just about 2 weeks.
So you went there on vacation 2 weeks ago. I know you work your ass off. You work your ass off. And what's crazy is when I call you, You're like, hey man, it's between like 4 and 6 because you have a wife, you're newly married, and then you work all night long. So like, start all that all over again, please.
Yeah, so my day is there's not much free time at all for the past 2 years. It's wake up, do about an hour of research before the trading day starts, trade till 4, and then I have about like a short window, like about an hour to myself or so. Then the wife gets home, spend some time with her, and then from about 7 to the rest of the night till 12, 1, it's researching for the next day, reviewing trades. It's morning till night. I get about an hour of time where I can like play some chess, scroll through Twitter a bit. So it's a very hectic, busy lifestyle. And a while ago, about like a couple months ago, we just decided, me and my wife, we're Jewish, so we decided, let's like go reconnect a bit, go back to Israel, try to get some inspiration. Just like it's our hometown technically. So
So you
we
haven't had any
decided,
vacations. I know you don't vacation. I know that you're working.
yeah,
It's like midnight oil you're burning. I know that.
yeah, we haven't taken a single vacation in like 2 years. It's just been nonstop work, and we really needed it. So we get out here, and it was unbelievable. Like, we're staying in a hotel near the beach, and it was just really nice. Sun, pool, beach, back and forth, good food, and it was great, and we were really really loving it, really enjoying it. And basically 2 days ago, it's Saturday here, 3 days ago actually, and we're sleeping, like, we had a great night. Next morning it's about 8 a.m, and all of a sudden we just, very loud, we just hear these sirens. It's nonstop, and we're like, what's going on? So we come outside to the balcony right here, and it's crazy loud, like blaring sirens. Like, I posted a video of it on my Twitter, but it doesn't do justice to how loud it actually is. And then about 2 minutes of the siren stops, and me and my wife just look at each other, and we're like, what was that? And then about 10 seconds later, we hear like a huge, loud boom. Not, it didn't sound close, but it was a loud impact, like explosion type noise. And we were like, okay, this doesn't sound good. This sounds a little off. Like, what's going on? We go back to sleep because it is 8 a.m. And about 10 a.m., we get woken up again to the same exact siren. So this time we're like, okay, something must be happening. We run outside again to the balcony, and again, the siren finishes. About 10 seconds later, huge explosion. And that one sounded a little closer. So we started getting worried, and everyone's texting like, stay inside, be safe. Like, there's rockets going on right now, but we didn't know why. We were just so confused about it. So I at first, I have to admit, I didn't really take it like seriously because it was so unusual. It was like, you don't expect, we're in the country for about a week and a half already. Like, everything's going beautifully. You don't expect a war to break out, especially it's not something that's happened in years and decades. So it was very hard to take seriously at first. So I'm walking through the street, and there's just not a soul outside, not a soul. And like the days before that, there are a lot of Americans here now for the holidays, packed. Like, everywhere you go, it just packed. And we're walking outside, and there's just not a soul. So we see like police near us. So we go over to them and we ask them, like, what's going on? And they say Hamas broke into the border near Gaza and started firing at a rave or whatever. And then from there, like, we started getting the picture a bit more, but it still was like, it didn't really hit, in a sense. Like, it just didn't feel real. It felt like kind of like a dream. Like, there's no way this is actually happening. It's not so serious. It's not that bad. Like, you're just trying to convince yourself. And then, later in the day, like, we're getting news updates nonstop. It's like on everything, like CNN, Fox, and that's when we started realizing, like, wow, okay, this is serious. But I didn't hear anything about like flights getting canceled or that. I was like, okay, like, let's just get out of here as soon as we can. Right after that, I get an email from Delta, which I was supposed
Were
to
you
fly
able to call
home.
your parents at that point, or?
Yeah, I called them, made sure everything was okay. They were very nervous, but they knew, where we're staying in Jerusalem, which is right here. It's not exactly such a dangerous neighborhood. Like, it's very well protected, pretty safe. I mean, we thought that about all of Israel, but Jerusalem, there's just tons and tons of military cops here, so it does feel safe, and they knew that. So it was like, a little bit of relief that we weren't in any of the beach towns where we were staying a week ago, like Tel Aviv, Herzliya, Netanya, Ashdod, because those places, rockets were getting right there. I mean, the Iron Dome is intercepting them, but pretty bad news. Like everybody, every time a siren went off, everybody in those towns are running into shelters. Like here, when the sirens go off, like we don't really run into shelters because there's like such a little chance that anything is actually going to hit. They can't really fire like all the way to Jerusalem. The rockets don't go long enough, or so we think as of now. And then I check my phone and my flight's canceled at a Delta flight, and start trying to like look for new flights and everything. Delta, United, everything's canceled. No flights going in, no flights going out besides El Al. And like the flights that they do have are like to United Emirates, to Dubai, to London, to Atlanta, like back to New York, and like for like $5,000 each. And just like and we couldn't even get to any of them because they were getting booked so fast. Like it was near impossible to actually get a flight. So currently it looks like we're stuck here for the time being. I have my laptop, so at least I'm able to trade, but it's obviously not the same as having, back home at 4 screens. One of them is like 70 inches, so I'm watching like 8 to 12 charts usually at the same time, can get a really clear picture of how the market's moving. It's a lot harder to do that on my laptop. And my wife's laptop actually broke right before we left. She didn't plan to work at all, but now she kind of has to. So we're kind of splitting the laptop. Like I trade for an hour, she does work for an hour. I trade for an hour, she does work for an hour. I mean, the workday starts at 4:30 by us, so because that's 9:30 in America. And until then, in the beginning of the vacation, there was a lot to do. You go out to eat. There's parks, there's activities, but now every single store is closed. Every place where there could possibly be over 50 people gathered is closed. So, for example, a movie theater, because there could be 50 or more people gathered there, it's closed. Restaurants closed, unless like a very small grocery store. Everything's closed. So they said stock up on water, supplies, food, essentials, batteries, flashlights for about a week, because they really don't know how much this is going to escalate. So for now, we're just sitting tight, trying to make the best out of the situation, and hopefully we'll get good news soon about flights going out, and we'll try to jump on one.
Are you so your flight was canceled? At that point, were you able to speak with the embassy? Were you able to? Did they give you any kind of updates, or hey, we'll contact you as soon as something becomes available? Or
So the U.S. Embassy is actually only a 5-minute walk from where we're staying. So we went over there right away. And of course, we weren't the only ones that thought of the idea. So we had to wait for a while. But they told us, for now, give us all your information so that the United States has it. We had to fill out, take pictures of our passports, give them our social securities number. And they have all our information. And they said there's a possibility that the U.S. may charter flights for American citizens to come back home if things get really bad. From the way it's looking right now, it does seem like things are probably, unfortunately, going to get worse before they get better. But hopefully, the U.S. will charter some flights for us, because it's not just us. There's a lot of Americans stuck here.
are you? You mentioned that there could not be gatherings larger than 50 people. I think I saw a limitation on gatherings, 50 people, and then I think I saw another one of 25 people, depending on what you're doing. When so you're in an apartment, so you're not in a hotel, or is it Airbnb that you're in right now?
Yeah, it's an Airbnb.
And so you have to go out and get your own food. You have to. Are you like so? I don't know if there's like a modified martial law of some kind. You can't gather with 50 more people. Are you able to be out at nighttime on the streets? Or have you been out in the daytime on the streets alone or with your wife? Does anyone say anything to you? Have you noticed? Have you at checkpoints, or have you had
So
people
right
said
now
to you
where we
stay off the
are,
streets or anything like that?
yeah, so their preference is to stay off the streets. Like if a cop sees you on the street, they're not happy with you. Like, why are you outside right now? But they understand that like people can't just stay locked in their apartments all day. And as long as there's not like a big crowd gathering, because of course that could be a target. If there's a big crowd gathered, a lot easier target than random people walking around. So they're cool with it. You know, like we were walking, like we got some looks from officers, but they didn't say anything. Maybe like followed us for a minute, just to, like, I guess walk with us. But they're cool with us walking around, but there's no sort of activities or going out that we can do. Like there's not one bar open, nothing like that.
Do you have? No, I don't want to. I'm not trying to um, cause any concern or anything, but I guess the question would be, if you didn't get out of Jerusalem and the war expands, and you're stuck in Jerusalem, have you been given any plans by any kind of emergency plans by people in the community or from the police or from the embassy or anything like that?
No, but it would get bad if that happens. Like there's absolutely a possibility right now that there's not going to be any flights for another month. Like Delta has canceled until October 31st at the minimum, which is another, what's the date? The 11th, the 10th. Yes, that's another at least 20 days from right now. And there's nothing to do. So if we were to get locked in here, it would be kind of like COVID 3 years ago, where you're in quarantine essentially, pretty much in your apartment. No open restaurants, no open gyms, no open bars, no open movie theaters, nothing like that. And it's just stay put until it ends.
Did you had mentioned to me on the phone, and you mentioned it here, but I don't know. Well, it's fascinating. Like, or as it began, you said that you weren't aware or like fully aware. Small role coming on right now on SPX and Spy. Coming back to check the 1 minute, the 5 minute trigger. Now, it's like I'm on vacation. Did you have internet service? Did you have cell service as it was going on, or were you just so enthralled and enwrapped in your vacation to where, like, yeah, I'm kind of aware, but not fully aware as to what's going on the first day or that overnight period? Do you have internet? Can you download movies? I guess if you lose the internet, I mean,
Yeah, so we have it, but to be honest, I wasn't on my phone at all. Like I saw things were happening, but like it was Saturday, we slept in, like we got woken up twice by rockets, but we were up late Friday night. So we ended up sleeping in, and then like we were just walking around. I don't even know if we took our phones. Like again, the focus of the trip, like most people aren't even gonna understand this. But the focus on the trip was getting away from the work life, getting away from our phones, reconnecting with each other. So we weren't on our phones a lot throughout the entire trip.
mm-hmm.
So a lot of times, like when we went out, we left our phones in the apartment, and it was only until like, and there was definitely like no like scrolling on TikTok, scrolling on Twitter, like nothing like that. Like we were there to spend time with each other.
You
And
in the past, so I know you well outside. Like I know you outside of this, and I know that you practice social media and phone discipline. There's not really a
yes,
better word for it, but these
that's the word
days,
for it.
right, where you
So
put it down
important.
and you're in the moments with people that you love, and you've done that
Yes,
consistently all the entire time I've known you.
yes. Otherwise, not sure how my marriage would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so important. Like we try to do it every weekend, because during the week we barely have time to talk to each other. Like as busy as it sounds like I am, and I am, she's the same way. She's also extremely dedicated to her job, very driven, very motivated. And you know, Friday after the market closes until Sunday, where I get started on my research for the week, like those 2 days, Friday after 4 p.m. and Saturday, like that's really our time to be together. So I try to undownload Twitter, TikTok, you know, social media apps for the weekend, and don't even look at them, try to completely disconnect from them. And it also feels like a mental, you know, taking a step back. Like it's good to be on there. It's great. All these things are great for entertainment and information, but it's also so important to remember that it's okay to take a step back 1 day a week, 2 days a week, 5 hours a week, even 1 hour a week. It just to refresh your brain and, you know,
Are you are a little bit of blood, a little bit of a liquidation break
bloodbath.
here going spooze. Are you have you downloaded, so you got your laptops there? Are you able to, like, in case you go offline, have you downloaded audiobooks, movies?
That's the next step. I think I'm likely going to do that after this call. Start downloading some movies,
Yeah.
start downloading books, because again, like it's you
Audiobooks, movies, Wikipedia, maybe something to read. You
yeah,
get
you really
locked in,
don't.
what are you gonna do?
it's everything's so uncertain right now. Like you would think like now we're never losing internet, we're never losing Wi-Fi, but really who knows? I mean,
Yeah.
this is unprecedented right now and wouldn't know how much this can escalate. The entire goal is really just make sure you have supplies and just try to stay calm and stay indoors.
If you're just joining us, this is James Roland. He's also known as J Roll, and he's one of the founding members of Meme Stock Watch. His Twitter handle is at JROL17_. I did post a link on Twitter that has his Twitter handle on it. If you want to follow him out there on Twitterland, he's joining us live here from Jerusalem in Israel. He was on vacation with his wife, and this happened over the weekend, and he's kind of stuck now in Israel. How about so you could be stuck there. You might not be getting out of there right now.
Yeah, we really might be stuck here a month. And we're prepared for it, like if need be. Thankfully, we have like most of our clothes with us and most of our stuff because we came for 2 weeks, so we knew to be prepared for a while. But if this is what happens, it's another life experience, I guess. Like there's nothing to complain about, nothing to be mad or upset about. It's just life. Like it just happened. Like things could be a lot worse. Obviously, we could have been there. Things could have been worse. So you really just have to try to stay super positive and not let yourself fall into the thing of, oh, why me? Why do I have to be stuck here? Why did this have to happen to me? Like you really just can't think anything like that at all. You just have to stay positive until we're back home safe.
Like you've never served in the military, right? You've been a civilian your whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have friends in the military right now, actually.
Yeah. What about, do you have any family and friends in the IDF or in the U.S. armed military of any kind, or Israeli?
Yeah. My wife's first cousin is in the IDF right now fighting.
And was he active duty or was he reserves called back?
He's watching a post in it's called Heshbon.
So he's assigned to an outpost right now.
Yeah, but he's not like physically fighting.
I don't know, man. Outposts can be pretty dangerous.
He's from Miami, and last year he just decided to join the army. None of us knew why, but.
And he's got a 2 years for contract to start, or no?
Yeah.
And how far along through his contract do you think he is? Well, it doesn't matter now, right?
I think 6 months. I think he's got a lot left.
Let me. I don't know if you can see the stream from here. There's people, lots of comments. Number one, J-Roll, everyone is wishing you to be safe.
Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate all of that.
Yeah, man. And we talked about you on stream yesterday because we have overlapping people out there.
Audience.
Yeah, overlapping audience. And, people care about you. They want to make sure that you're safe. And you know what the other crazy part is? You and I were talking before you came in the show, and our politics are very similar. Like, you don't want to see people getting hurt, people dying. It doesn't matter who they are, right? The human beings.
Right.
I think we're both humanists in the background.
Exactly. Yeah, don't really have any political views. Just don't want to see people die. That's it.
Yeah.
Don't want to see, murdering, raping, bloodshed. Don't want to see any of that. So no political views from my end, but I just want the violence to stop.
It's a very sad thing, man. It's I was looking at some of the numbers that were coming out last night, and it was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
To see some of the stuff that I saw last night. We have people in the audience that are asking questions. You want me to read some of them and ask you a few questions and see if you can answer some of what they have for you?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, so if you're watching on Twitch or YouTube, please ask slowly because he's not going to be able to answer all the questions that you have. I'm going to read through them and see if there's anything insightful that we can ask James here. So if you want to ask a question, please ask. Does anybody have any questions they want to ask on YouTube or Twitch? Let's see. Who's got questions out there? Let me see what they got here. I got some wonkiness going on here, James. Let me reset this whole thing here.
Sure.
Yeah, YouTube's lagging. It's like falling behind a ton. Let me check YouTube chat real quick. The Market Rebels saying, stay safe from the Hamas terrorist brothers. Jesus. What else we got here? Let's see what people. Is it Joe Donut's asking? You know Joe Donut.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, you
What's up?
guys know each other well. Joe Donut's asking, is it possible to drive to Jordan to fly out?
That is not the best idea right now. Jordan is not. I don't think it's a safe place to go for us currently.
Yeah, what I know of Jordan, I wouldn't be. I wouldn't feel good there right now.
Yeah.
From what I know of Jordan.
Yeah, don't think it's safe there.
What about what did you eat today? That's a good question. What did you eat? Someone just said. Someone said, "What did you have for lunch or dinner today?" Be descriptive, please, sir. I like food from other cultures.
All right, so I'll show you what we've been eating the past couple of days.
Nice. Fuck yeah.
Let me tell you.
Let's do it.
For the first days, when we got here, it was insane. We were eating so much, like not normal amounts. There's really good food in the hotels where we were staying by, and at this point, we put on probably about 10 pounds in about a week.
Your wife's a good cook too, so
she's great. So
Yep.
Now what we've been eating is these salads. You go to the store, you get 7 choices of like every kind of vegetable there is, and they put in this container for you, and you get like dressing or whatever.
Heck yeah,
like this
dude.
one has beets, lettuce, quinoa, chia seeds, eggs, fried onions, and what else is in here? With like tahina dressing, pesto, and cheese, like feta cheese. So
Someone just said the food was in like really good in Israel. So seeing that bowl, man, is good.
Very impressive. It is very impressive food here. Like, especially when we were in the hotels, like the spreads were amazing. But now it's like trying to lose some of that extra weight that we both put on.
Someone
So
just
it's
asked.
salads.
Someone just asked, what do you do for food and water if the stores are all closed? But you're showing that you're able to at least try to get out and go to the stores. What about water? Have you bought any bottled water just in case you lose water?
We stocked up on like 20 bottles of water. We actually only drink seltzer, soda water. So we stocked up on a lot of soda water.
Let me see what else we're being asked here. It's James, stay safe. What was the most impressive sight that you saw prior to Saturday?
So we went to the Western Wall, and that was a very enlightening experience. There was a lot of people praying there, and it was like we went at one point. There was thousands, I think, of people praying there, and like kind of felt it a bit like spiritually, like a weird feeling, hard to describe, but I would say that's definitely the most interesting sight since we've been here, just being at the Western Wall and watching thousands of men and women just praying.
And it was moving for. I'm assuming it would be moving for you. That many people.
Yeah.
Having spiritual moments, right? That I would assume that would be the case.
Yeah.
So the Western Wall was the most impressive at this point. We've got hold on, let me see what else you got here. Let me see what he's got here. Someone said your shirt is fresh as fuck.
Nike.
I also Sunday Never Ends says J-Roll's wife cooks awesome food.
Yes, she does. Yes, she does. So for those of you who don't know, last time I was on Captain Stream, I showed all the pictures of my wife's food.
That's
so
right.
I got married at 175 pounds. Very skinny, very lean. I'd been working out for a bunch of years, and then a year after I got married, most people don't believe this, but we have the pictures of the scale to prove it. I weighed 225 pounds, so put on about 50 or so pounds since I got married in 1 year. Like, I was just so like, I never had like food like that before on a daily basis. Like, I'm not saying my mom's not a bad cook, but this was my wife really is next level. So I didn't even know that getting married, but once we did, it turned out she's a really good cook, and now it's gonna take me a couple years to take all that weight off.
Hold on. What was it? That's a I guess that could be a curse or a blessing, but
Yeah.
at least you have the weight on you now that you can
Um,
lose if you need to.
My shirts.
What else we got here? Let me go through some of the let me go through and see what other questions we have here. Someone asked about AMC.
Yeah.
Someone what your thoughts were on AMC. Do you have any thoughts on
Yeah.
AMC? Do you
So
care about it right now? Do you want to bring up the chart, or what do you want me to do?
yeah. Actually, if you go to my Twitter,
Yeah.
you'll see I turned bullish at about $8.10 when VOX, which is a metric we track, moved into the.
Let me bring this up. Let me bring this up for people here. Hold on here.
You want me to send you which tweet it is?
I've got your Twitter handle up here.
Here, I'm gonna send you the tweet right now.
Just see if I can.
You want me to send it to your Twitter?
I'm trying to figure out. Well, say what you want to say. Let me. I don't think this is gonna work like this. So, start again and.
Okay. Meanwhile, I'm just gonna send this to you. You'll get it.
Send it to me.
In a second. And then if you could put this up on your screen, it'll help explain everything. So.
Are you saying it to my Twitter or just adding me or what?
I sent it to your Signal.
Yeah, I don't know if I can put this on the screen though.
Well, if you click on the tweet, it'll take you to Twitter, and then you can maybe put Twitter on your screen.
All right, hold on here. Okay, hold on here. Let me see what we got going on here. It's kind of a rug here on Spoos, by the way. You've got the half-hour crossing and the 1-hour trigger about to cross the daily trigger on SPX. We want to see what the reaction is off of this cross that's about to take place and see if we can get the KISS trade. So this first squeeze above the daily trigger, you bulls want to always see a successful retest of that daily trigger. Talked about this yesterday where we don't really care about the initial squeeze. The higher it goes, the more unsustainable it is. And then once it comes back down and retests this daily and hourly, you need this to hold for continuation for bulls here. So you want to pay attention to 2 price points. First one's going to be 433.85 and then 432 by the time we get there. Let me bring this up, James, and check the tweet that you got, brother. Let me, for those, hold on, let's see what I got here. For those, I've got 21 hours ago, AMC continues to push higher. Nope, GME, AMC has moved. I'm looking for it right now on your Twitter.
Yeah, so you remember you said AMC continues to push higher? It's the tweet that I quoted there.
Let me see here.
You were just there.
Scrolling back up right now. I see it right here. Okay. Let me bring this up for him, brother. Let me put this on the screen for him.
It's the tweet that says, for those of you that enjoy playing upside on AMC.
Okay, for those of you that enjoy playing the upside of AMC, VOX has now cracked into the inhibition zone. Do you want to continue to talk about that one?
Yeah, so the goal of Meme Stock Watch, the reason why it was created is because being around the meme stock world for the past 3 years, been there since pretty much the beginning. I do know that unfortunately a lot of retail investors have lost large sums of money, small sums of money on options, and with the deep dive stocks data that you're familiar with now, that I've been using for a long time that some people on the stream may have heard of, may have not heard of. I've personally never seen anything as good at it as it when it comes to predicting upside or downside. And it's just such a super helpful indicator because once certain things happen, like in this case, it was VOEX moving into the inhibition zone, which may sound a little confusing, but the summary is just, based on volatility exposure. Once VOEX, which literally stands for volatility exposure, moves into the inhibition zone, which is the upper black line. Once the pink line moves above there, that is bullish, and price will proceed to rise until VOEX moves out of the inhibition zone. And when VOEX moves into the propagation zone, which is under the lower black line, that is bearish, and it means the stock is lacking stability. If you're looking at the chart right now, you can see that huge spike down deep into the propagation zone. That was about 05, January, February, March, April, May. So in the beginning of the May, there was a huge spike down, and that's where AMC just got relentlessly pummeled for months, all the way up until the split. And 5 days ago, VOEX, you could see on the chart, poked
spiking higher now.
Yeah, and so with Meme Stock Watch, like, we don't play calls on these stocks unless we're doing a short little scalp, unless VOEX moves into the inhibition zone. And on the chart highlighted all the way to the left of the screen showcases the last time that VOEX moved into the inhibition zone for AMC, where you can see a huge upside reaction. So about 5 days ago, gave out the message on Meme Stock Watch, which again, we made it really cheap and accessible to retail traders by keeping it only $20 a month, and sent out the message like, it's time to go long on AMC because VOEX is now in the inhibition zone. We expect a sharp rise in price. And that's why I put out this tweet, because I was like, look, like, for those of you that enjoy playing upside in AMC, like, here's the warning, upside's coming. And sure enough, we went long at about 810, and the target was mid 10s. It was the daily trigger. So if you want to pull up AMC, you can see where the daily trigger was.
I'll pull it up right now, brother. I'm on it right now for you. I highlighted those two zones where you had the bloodbath and then where you started to break above with VOEX. Hold on. We got this. So AMC.
So I don't think the upside is over. I think price will continue moving higher up towards the daily trigger.
So I got the daily trigger at 11:21 right now, but roughly right around there. Do you think we can still go up there and slam into that daily trigger, right?
Yes, I do. I wouldn't enter here because I got in $2 cheaper. I never like to enter, after a big move. But unless you want to use the 5-minute trigger as a stop loss, you can take a low risk, high reward trade. But I do believe price will head up to 11 to about 11 or so. Yeah, just.
Do you think that entire glass? Do you think the entire move can be retraced to that 1327-ish or so, or?
It's possible if price breaks above the daily trigger. I expect continued upside as long as VOEX remains in the inhibition zone. So every night, and looks like AMC can actually get a pop here. But every night I'll just be checking the data, and as long as VOEX remains in the inhibition zone, further upside is expected until we see a really large spike in VOEX, which indicates that the latest price action has destabilized itself, meaning it provoked massive instability in the markets. And if I see a huge spike like that on VOEX, that's when I would say, okay, the run is more than likely over, and be cautious for downside coming. But for now, as AMC moves up, as VOEX continues into the inhibition zone, there's really no need for concern of bearishness. Things look like they'll continue moving upward, at least towards the daily trigger. If price breaks above that, the hourly trigger crosses above, we could be talking about a monster move up to the weekly trigger at 28 or so. But
yeah, that's much higher, isn't it? So you're talking about
that could be a life changer. And honestly, I'm really excited for the Meme Stock Watch guys if that move would happen, because you know how much money you can make on a move like that.
Huge.
From $12 to 28. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got it right now at $30. So you figure 28 by the time you get there, somewhere right around there, right another week or two, you could be easily at 28, 25, $28.
Yeah, I mean, if VOEX continues to push into the inhibition zone and the hourly trigger crosses above the daily trigger, then it's a low risk, high reward setup with a stop loss below the daily trigger, and just calls 3 months out or so and just sit on them. until anything in the data changes or until price breaks below the daily trigger, and you have to exit the position for a small loss in comparison to the possible huge gains if the move completes itself. But again, right now it's still early. Price is still below the daily trigger. I wouldn't want to jump ahead of anything, but
You got work.
it is
We got work to do at AMC on that daily trigger, and then price battling that and consolidating on it. And
exactly. But from there, listen, it could take a couple of weeks till that point happens. But if there's an hourly trigger, daily trigger across an AMC, if you go back on the AMC chart, all the way back, you'll notice that hourly trigger, daily trigger crosses are really strong. If you want to show
yeah,
the
hold on here.
audience,
Hold on here. I'm going to show them right now.
bearish and bullish. So you could show the bearish cross that led to all this downside in the first place. And you can show the bullish crosses, which have always been the prerequisite to AMC moving much higher.
Let me see if I can. It's hard for me to show AMC without. I don't have a full screen. Well, maybe I do. Hold on here. Let me just go over that one more time. Hold on one second here. Hold on here. I gotta switch this back here. Think that one right there. So I've got you off screen right now, but we're gonna talk about. So we're gonna talk about what happens when you get these big spikes. I've got them on the hourly chart right now, but you can see these giant spikes where it goes straight to the moon. And the implication here would be that you would get this consolidative move, break above the daily trigger, slam up into this weekly, consolidate inside of here, and then make a move up to that's six. Actually, the monthly trigger is 63.79. Woof. So that's $60 right there. So forget even the $28. You could be doubling that to 60, right?
About that daily trigger sitting there at 11, whatever it is. If price gets above that and the hourly trigger crosses, all odds favor a tremendous upside move. That will probably bring a lot of retail back into the markets, if I had to guess. Could also spark a lot of things moving in meme world. Like, I'll be honest with you, this is one of the main things I'm currently watching. I took my profits from the AMC run already, made more than enough. I try not to be greedy and wait for price to get all the way to my target. But if price breaks above the daily trigger and that hourly trigger crosses, we could see something special happen for sure. Something that we haven't seen in at least a year in AMC, a real move to the upside.
That do you think like $30 C's 3 months out? What are you thinking? $28 C's 3 months out, 6 months out,
I would only start working
$60
on
C's.
I would only start working on my next position once those triggers cross. But how I would play it is I would go 3 months out, and I would probably go probably a ladder with the concentration of my calls half the distance between price and target.
Yeah.
So price at that point would be about 11.50, target would be about 28, let's say 25, just to be a little more fair. So I would take about like $16, $17 strike. And then I would also ladder some like 20s, and I would also take some closer in the money calls where as soon as the move starts, what I would do is right after the trigger cross, what I always love to do is I like to send 75% of my capital into longer dated calls, 3 months out. But I always love to have 25% in shorter dated so that if I'm right, not just about the move, but also about the timing of the move, I have the ability to sell my shorter dated calls, keep all the profit, and pay for my entire longer dated position, which I can now sit on for free. So there's two ways to win with options, right? You have to be right about direction, but you also have to be right about the timing. Now, triggers and the BOEX, which we use, make timing a lot easier. But of course, when you play around with large amounts of money, you always want that safety of having a larger dated position. But with the ability to also catch moves in the short term by having access to triggers and VOEX, with the ability to know that price is likely to move much higher in the very, very short term, I like to take not all of it, but 25% of my capital, buy shorter dated contracts, maybe 2 weeks out, maybe even weeklies if it's early in the week, if it's a Monday or Tuesday. Capture the beginning of the run with those out the money weeklies, and pay for my entire further data position. If you get 150% win, a 200% win, you pretty much already pay for all your farther dated calls.
I'm going to repost this post from J-Roll right now. So if you are listening to this right now and you're kind of following along but want more information, I'm gonna repost. I'm gonna repost this post from J-Roll in regards to AMC. Remember, he's speaking about a couple things here. He's also speaking about you have to be stay on trend on the hourly trigger. You have to break above the daily trigger. Your next target's the weekly trigger, and then VOX as well needs to be on your side. So if you want to follow back up with James Roland, head on over to, click through that post that I just posted on Twitter and follow up with him. J-Roll, do you have any kind of you got any discounts, bro? What's up? How do people join your website?
You can sign up for free, by the way.
There we go.
At least for 7 days. There's a free trial. Wouldn't want anyone to pay if they don't like the service. If you want a free trial, you're more than welcome to sign up.
Sweet. So you got 7 days free if you want to sign up and just check out what he's talking about out there.
Yeah.
Let me see what else they're asking.
In these kind of things. We also cover Tesla, Apple, Google, Amazon, SPY, and QQQ. You know, Captain, if you want, you can show my last tweet that I just posted. Well, actually, let's see.
You want to see what the last
3 tweets down. The SPY weekly forecast. So every week on Sunday, we give a market forecast for SPY, QQQ, Tesla, Apple, Google, Amazon, DME, and AMC.
Is this the post that says with SPY up over $8? Yes. Can we bring that one up? Hold on here. Let's see what he's got here. All right, so I got the post open here. Hold on, I gotta move this. Oh nope, hold on here. Gotta move that over.
Yeah, if you could just read it out loud, it's not too long.
Yeah, with SPY up over $8 on the week.
No, not the actual
post
forecast. Yeah.
All right, we got let me see if I got make sure I got all this here. I'm very happy to report that this week's weekly forecast will be simple, straightforward, and an easy read. The forecast is short-term bullish, but longer term, this upcoming run may provoke even more instability, which would in turn have us watching out for further future downside. The forecast comes from the VOX coiling pattern we've been discussing over the past week, which is now confirmed with VOX for SPY, QQQ moving back into the stability zone and VOX trend rounding out. He also says that the forecast comes from the VOX coiling pattern we've been discussing over the past week, which is now confirmed with VOX for the SPY Qs moving back at stability zone and VOX trend rounding out. The heat maps support this view as well, with robust purchasing support in the event of minus or plus money IV and little selling pressure in the event of adding money or less IV. The snap graphs are also fully bullish for SPY and QQQ. The lack of put selling on SPY is slightly concerning. That's a fair point. We saw that more hedging come in yesterday as well. Yes. And we didn't have hedging on the market in the beginning of the quarter, but we did start to add hedging across the market as the days progressed into the beginning of the quarter. And I agree with this statement, too. The lack of put selling in SPY is slightly concerning, but with the rest of the data pointing a rally beginning to start for the time being, I am bullish on the market. Follow Gavin's forecasts for specific targets and levels to buy, sell on the way up. Remember, any hourly close above one of his levels will usually mean that price will move higher to the next level. 4-hour closes are stronger signals, 9 a.m., 1 p.m., and 5 p.m., and daily closes are even stronger.
So this was from Sunday. Today's now Tuesday, and the market has moved $8 higher. Actually right to our target, which was 437. And that's when I actually posted to the Discord that, okay, time to start exiting longs. SPY's at a big level here. But so this is what I mean. Every week we put out a forecast on SPY, QQQ, 4 tech stocks, the meme stocks. And, you know, we take
before it happens, baby.
Yeah, 7 data points. It's not that complicated to read. And Usually I also say like how I'm positioned into the week. I'll be honest, I got really scared Monday when it came time to actually, I usually sell put spreads just to collect data. And then I'll also like buy calls for the week. I was very nervous on Monday due to the war, and I was also running around. And to be completely honest and fair to those watching, I missed this move. Something that I normally would have caught 100,000% if circumstances were normal, but they're not.
No.
But the subscribers caught it. I got a lot of DMs thanking me with some screenshots of some call buying. And yeah, this rally we called in the beginning of the week. And also the move on Tesla, move on Apple we called, move on Amazon, move on Google, all bullish forecasts from Sunday, all worked out pretty well. And AMC as well and GME as well. It's not always going to be perfect, but every trade has tight invalidation levels. You guys, if you watch the streams, know how it works with the triggers. Like, we don't recommend buying or selling, but if we did, we'd say, okay, get long above a trigger with a stop loss, let's say 10 cents below the trigger. So even when we are wrong, it is pretty small risk. But if you're trading anyway, it is a pretty cheap way to get just additional insights that can definitely help you with understanding the direction that the market is going. So you're not trying to short the market when all our data points to upside, and you're not trying to long the market when all data points point to the downside.
We were tagging that 418, man. I went long there, and I was scared all week. It's been a brutal. I've been crawling up a wall trying to manage my longs because I'm scared. Of course, I'm scared. I was scared over the weekend and then into Monday and Tuesday. Stayed up all night long Sunday night, all that kind of stuff because there's so much money in the line at that turn and with what was going on where you are.
Don't blame you. I was also a bit scared. We also just hit a huge trade on Meta, which we went long at 300. And again, like a lot of times we'll post like a bonus play on Meme Stock Watch, even if it's not something that we cover on a day-to-day basis. Like if Gavin or I thinks there's a huge move coming on a certain stock, like we'll post it. So last week, Gavin posted about Meta at 300. He went long 3 months out, cashed in 10K. I was able to secure about $5,500 profit from a 10K call position. The 430 calls, the 330 calls, sorry. And then last night, for example, posted Carvana at about $39 with a target of 40, and we hit with a target of 41, and price, this was pure luck, but price did top out at 41.01 today. Again, yesterday I posted a trade NVAX and it didn't work. And I got stopped out about 20 cents below where I bought. Very manageable loss. The Carvana trade today made up for that and more. So we're not always going to be right, but we always structure trades where you can enter above a trigger and stop out if the trigger doesn't work to accelerate price higher.
So I've got a stock picker that's been kicking out NVAX recently. Keep getting told to buy it.
Yeah.
It's been consolidating, hasn't it?
Everything looked so bullish about it yesterday and just didn't move higher. And I was a little shocked because usually when we have that much bullish data, like there was put selling, VOX looked good, the heat maps look good, the snap graphs look good. It was just weird. It just didn't move up.
Yeah.
But it happens. It's not usual, but it happens. No one's perfect. Just gotta be able to cut losers quickly and move on and not look back.
No, that's a part about our stream is what we do here is it's okay to have losers as long as you know to cut them loose or that you're probably going to torch your position at least, right? That awareness that is my trade valid and when does it become invalid? And then if you stay in it at that point, once it becomes invalid, it's all on you, right? It's not.
Exactly. And that's why triggers are such a useful tool because, if price breaks below a trigger and it's going to accelerate to the downside, why stay long?
Yeah.
I love structuring all the trades that I structure on Meme Stock Watch. I'll be like, all right, if price breaks above the hourly trigger or the daily trigger, that's where I want to get long, and I'll have a stop loss 10 cents below in case the trigger doesn't work. Sometimes I'll get out and then the trigger validated again, and I'll just hop right back in. But over the past year or so, all my losses have pretty much been 10%, 15% max, and that's all. As long as you have to risk money if you want to make money. Losses have to be something that you're okay with, and you can't be thinking, I don't want to enter this trade because I might lose. You always might lose a trade. As long as you can keep risk tight, you're going to be okay.
And you always talk to me about one of the things that I always appreciated about you was as from a stage perspective, once a trend starts up or down, you talk about how you're entering trades, and once we start to consolidate sideways and rechecking the 1 in 5 minutes, that you're pulling off percentages of your longs or shorts and only leaving a few runners on. Do you want to go
Yeah.
through that talk real quick, or?
Yeah. So I use a very simple system. Depending on the time frame of my calls, is which trigger I'll stop out under. So, for example, SPY today rode up the 1 minute trigger most of the day, and I'll also be watching for divergences. But if I'm in weeklies and I see price break below the 1 minute trigger, even if I think there's a great chance it'll catch support on the 5 minute trigger, I'm not willing to sit in those calls knowing that, okay, price is more than likely going to come down to the 5 minute trigger now, which could be 20 cents below price. It could be 40 cents below price. It's not something I'm willing to sit through. And so by me, whenever I'm playing weekly calls, I like to be long above the 1 minute trigger. But once that breakdown happens, that's when I quickly exit the trade. When I'm trading a little longer dated, 2 weeks out, monthly contracts, then I'll use the 5 minute trigger as a stop loss. If price breaks below the 5 minute trigger, I'll be out of the trade. But I'm not too concerned with the 1 minute trigger because, again, I'm looking for a trending move over the coming days, over the coming weeks, which is why I went further out. And as long as hourly velocity looks good, as long as 5 minute velocity looks good, I assume the 5 minute trigger is going to continue supporting price and providing bounces for price where buyers are going to step in. And if it does lose the 5 minute trigger, that's where I'll stop out of the trade. And when I take a lot further dated calls, like for example, on this meta position that we went long at 300, I happen to have sold it because made great money in such a short time frame. I don't like to be greedy. I always sell things early, and I don't mind it. I've come to terms with it. Rather always secure profit. But if I'm trading something 6 months out, if I'm trading leap contracts or 4 months out or 3 months out, anything over like 3 months out, I'm just going to be long above the hourly trigger, short below, flat below. Like I don't feel the need to like have to watch the screen all the time, watch the 1 and the 5 minute triggers. Like as long as the data looks good, and as long as like let's say there's a bullish crossover, hourly trigger crosses above the daily trigger. If you
That's
watch
sexy, man. That's a sexy one.
if you watch the
One of my
price
favorites.
continuously and you watch the 1 and the 5 minute trigger crosses, you're gonna end up selling way early before you wanted to. And so I'll just use the hourly trigger as my stop loss. And you might not get all of it, but you'll definitely get a nice run. And you could always sell when you see those bearish hourly divergences forming. So I like to stay long, not focus on the 1 and the 5 minute triggers. And once I see those hourly bearish divergences,
Yeah.
that's usually when I my position. So that's how I trade weeklies, monthlies, and then 3 months out and on.
I start watching
The
the
1 5 and hourly.
I start watching the flattening of that hourly too. I'm watching the flattening, the rolling of that hourly before we ever get there as an indication as well for that roll to come.
Yeah.
Directionally, at least on intraday kind of stuff, and then same kind of thing on daily to some extent, but that's on a much higher time frame. Let me see what you guys are asking. See if you guys have any more questions on Twitch or YouTube right now. Let me just check both Twitch and YouTube. Let me see here. G Berry said, "Why are you trading that shit for? For money, baby. That's why, Jimmy." Jimmy's old school like me. He's like always SPY or Qs or whatever. Well, let me see what yeah, JPQ is nice. Let me see what ask if he has any. Do you have any hedge fund plans? J-Roll, do you want to become a hedge fund? Or do you want to go work for a hedge fund, or do you want to start a brokerage or anything like that?
Really, no. I love interacting with retail. I love the retail space and the retail community, and I would honestly feel like a sellout. Like this is what I love doing. I love getting DMs from retail traders, like asking me questions on the forecast, asking me like, oh, you think like this is a good long, or like I saw your forecast last night for SPY, like where do you think possible targets are? And then like just talking to them and having conversations with them, and then like again, we don't always win, absolutely not, but like just seeing like retail traders send me screenshots of wins based on forecasts, like it really makes me feel good. Like it makes me feel appreciated, and I love that feeling, and that's what I strive for. Like I love love helping out. I know that there's value in the forecast, and I know that people enjoy it. And same with the Discord. Like, it's such an amazing, beautiful community of traders working together, wanting each other to succeed. And I don't know how many of you guys watch Billions, which is pretty much the only real hedge fund show, I guess you could say. It's kind of based around Stephen Cohen and Point 72. Really good show, actually. I binged like the whole thing, like at some point once I started getting really into like the meme stock movement. But that type of environment just doesn't feel right for me, and I'm just not that kind of person. So I don't think that it's ever going to be in the plans. As long as people are subscribed to Meme Stock Watch, I think this is what I'll be doing for the foreseeable future.
It's hard not to love retailers, is it? It's difficult to
It's
not.
very hard, yeah.
Yeah.
I really do love it.
The
I really love all the interaction, the jokes, the memes, the fun times, even the bad times. Like, I've made some pretty bad trades that, and I know everybody loses money from it, but
yeah, you're
the
one of the
good
few though
times
that
just outweigh it.
talks about that. Like, there's not many. There's a very small space of traders that I see that are full frontal. Like, I lost this trade, I won this trade, I lost this trade. A lot of times it's just like theoretical bullshit that people post, right? Like,
Yeah,
crash this or moon that, or they're
yeah.
not
I try
actually
never to
saying I
do
got
anything
torched
like that.
here or like I made a
Right.
bunch of money over here. It's very rare to see that these days. There's only a few guys like Matt Ryan does it, Chris DeMarco,
I
Jenny
love Matt Ryan.
Marcus, guys like that, but it's still a very
Yeah,
small group
Matt Ryan
relative.
definitely. He's really good.
People come
Yeah,
out.
he's
They're always coming out afterwards. Like, I made all this money, but they're like, I don't see any posts from you before that you took the trade. So why are you out here now blabbing?
right.
Or
Hindsight.
spreading doom and gloom, or even like moon shit that has nothing relevant to the price of AMC or Tesla today, right?
Yeah.
What else? We're also being asked. Everyone's saying that they love Billions. Bumbledine
Billions.
asked. Yeah, Bumbledine
I'm
asked. Uh,
happy to hear that. Yeah, I love Billions.
Bumbledine
Freaking
asked if you just said you should call your congressman.
yes,
Have you done that or
yes.
no?
My parents are on that. I can't really call from here now, but my parents are on that. Thank you.
Awesome. What else we got here? They're asking for you to go over GME. And then Career Low saying, James, what the fuck do I do with all these bullshit split options I bought before ape conversion that are now worthless?
Oh, that I have no idea. I'm sorry. That I don't know. I don't know the logistics behind that. But GME, very interesting. So one of the main things we track over at Meme Stock Watch, which I would credit a lot of our success to, is put selling. Many of you guys, not in a bad way, but most people just assume that when big money, the largest participants in the market, when they want to go long a stock, we all assume that they buy calls. That's actually false. When the largest participants in the market want to long a stock, or should I say, they know a stock is going up for whatever reason, they know. For those of you that watch Billions, you know how it is in these funds. They're not guessing. They're when they know, they know. And when they sell these puts, thanks to the data from Deep Dive Stocks, we are able to know that. And so on last night's GME
Well,
forecast,
let me stop you there, just briefly. What James is talking about too is they're trying to hide these trades, right? And there's constantly people trying to find out when they are like selling puts or any kind of large moves being made by these hedge funds is like a top secret kind of a thing, right? And that's where Deep Dive Stocks comes in, try to decipher what they're doing, right? Is that right? Am I wrong
yeah,
on that? Or
no, exactly. They love to sell puts to capture upside moves. They
Mhm.
don't they'll buy calls sometimes, but in general, you'll see
Yeah, they're selling their
mostly
puts
puts.
that they own, right?
They're not selling puts that they own. They're selling puts to keep the free premium
Oh, they
when
are.
price
Okay.
moves up away from the strike price or IV goes down. So sometimes, and this is when we lose trades, sometimes they'll sell these puts thinking that IV is going to drop and the premiums will go down and they'll pocket the premium.
The premium.
But most of the time, when they're selling puts, especially on certain stocks like GME, certain stocks like SPY, QQQ, Tesla, all the bigger names. It's the random names that we kind of get caught up in and take losses. But in the big names, when we see large amounts of put selling, that stock is going up 90% of the time.
Yeah.
With incredible accuracy. And it's not us. We're nobodies. We're not good. It's the fact that these put sellers have impeccable, perfect timing, time and time and time and time again. And
SG has something like that. I had a tool from Bookmap that would show me like selling massive puts or massive calls. I forget what the tool is called for Bookmap. Maybe David AMS knows what that tool is, but
yeah. So the only problem with people that watch Flow looking for puts that are being bought or sold is that although it seems easy to know if puts are being sold or bought based on whether they're at the bid or the ask, in fact, it's not always the case. And many times if you're watching Flow, you'll think puts are being bought and they're really being sold, or you'll think they're being sold and they're really being bought. What Deep Dive Stocks offers, and I'm not advocating for them anyway, and I'm not promoting them in any way. I'm simply stating that they track the signature essentially, like
yeah, the
you
signature.
explained to me a while ago, Captain. And they know if the puts are bought or sold. I don't question it because I've seen it work so many times. And honestly, there's only like 100 people that have access to Deep Dive Stocks. I don't even think he's open to new members. So really not promoting it at all. But last night,
so
there was a huge.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Apologize.
Last night there was a huge increase in put selling on GME. Huge increase, 1,600% increase, which was when I started off my post last night on GME. I said our friendly neighborhood put sellers are back. If you guys are on my Twitter, you can just scroll down a bit. I think it's like 7 tweets down, and you'll see the GME post. So there was just a ton of put selling yesterday. So I just said I'm going to go long, right above 1540. Went long at the open and sold at 1597, 1595 for a really nice win. So, being able to track put selling on GME, on AMC, and SPY, and QQQ, that's how we make the majority of our money.
I just reposted it on my handle so people can look at it.
Yes, that's it.
There's just a lawsuit that came out. Don't quote me on the exacts of this. I haven't read it for a few months, but about 3 months ago, some of the larger banks and some larger hedge funds filed a case against some of the flow companies that are out there because they are successfully assigning signatures to puts and calls being bought or sold specifically. One of those services that was doing it that I love is Flow Algo. And they do something similar to that same thing that Deep Dive Stocks does. And I like Deep Dive Stocks. I think I'm a member of Deep Dive Stocks. I'm not positive, but I think that
it's great. It's really useful data.
Really, yeah, I like Deep Dive. I'm going to check and see if I'm a member of them still. I'm going to check today because I think I actually pay for Deep Dive and don't use it right now, but I will bring it up if I do. So I'll look and see. Like, you pay for things every month and you forget about them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I shouldn't be doing that, but I'm like you, dude. It's like too busy, too fucking busy, man.
Yeah, Deep Dive Stocks is now the only service I'm subscribed to.
That's awesome. So I'll see if I'm still a member.
Trade the trigger whenever it's ready.
Yeah, I know we're not ready, dude. It's a disaster. I probably need to call you because I'm having trouble. I'm trying to embed some charts and
anything I could help with.
Yeah, dude. I love you, man. Hold on one second here. Let's see what these guys are.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Yeah, do you think? Take a break. So the hero indicator is the indicator that I was talking about earlier. That's correct. It's the hero indicator. SpotCam has it. Deep Dive Stock says something similar. I try to watch implied vol intraday to watch 0-date option flow and stuff like that. And then I've got a Gamma service that I use for that offers some of this as well, but it's only on the indexes. I always model trades after billions. That's too fucking funny. Your face is too pretty for retail. James Roland's got the face of a hedge fund man. Hold on, let's see what else you guys are saying on. Let's check out YouTube comments. Let me see what you guys are saying. Hey, Matty Ryan, you're here, brother. I love you, man.
Oh,
What do you think about HUBC, the Israeli cybersecurity company? HUBC, I don't know if he knows about that company or not, but do you know
HUBC.
HUBC? Someone's asking you to look that up at some point.
Okay. Whoever
Where?
it is, just DM me, and I'll send you the data as soon as I'm off this.
Okay.
Just DM me on Twitter.
Cool. Let me write that down, and I'll make a post of some kind, and then have another question here. Where is SPY heading towards the end of the month? Down? Question mark. So, do you expect us to get to?
Good question.
Do you expect us to get to like where we're at? We did the 435 thing. Now it's 440, then 444. Do you think there's still a roll up, like an extension, and then a roll down, or something like that?
It's a really good question. I'm going to tell you guys what we're looking out for. So again, VOEX pretty much measures stability in the stock, and in the SPY forecast that Captain read for you guys before, I said that for this upcoming rally, we're going to have to monitor if it provokes substantial instability. So currently, I don't have access to the data of today's move yet, but if today's move created a large spike in VOEX, which means that if VOEX spikes largely to the upside, then that means that this move was not this move was not tolerated well by the market and will result in downside flush, right back down. But if VOEX does not spike now to the upside, then it tells us that this greater than expected move was tolerated well by the market. And if it's tolerated well by the market, it is likely that there will be more upside. With CPI tomorrow, it makes it a lot trickier. And I exited all my positions about 2 hours ago. Luckily, at that. Because
I did too. I'm out. I'm flat right now. Well, I own parts of the market, but it's not shit I'm ever selling. And I've got some puts still, crash puts for Wednesday, but like the major size positions, I am out right now. I'm flat.
Yes, same here. Completely flat. Not a single position. All cash, besides my GME shares. And it's all about what VOEX says from this move. Again, we knew the rally was coming, but we didn't know if the rally was going to invoke massive instability or not. Tonight, be able to check the data and find out if it did or didn't.
Do you think
we'll also be able to know tonight how the market will react to CPI tomorrow based on, again, the largest market participants, how they're positioned. For example, Friday for the jobs data, it didn't help anybody, but I was able to post Thursday night, expect the market to go down really fast, really strong tomorrow, Friday morning for the jobs report, which it did. It then rebounded very quickly, but it crashed from 425 to 420 or so, because all the market participants were positioned very, very, very short. So tonight we will have a very good inclination of where the market is going to head on CPI. But as to where we'll be holding towards the end of the month, as long as SPY remains above the weekly trigger, doesn't seem like there's going to be concern for downside unless this move invoked too much instability.
Yeah, we've got Fed minutes tomorrow, right? We've got Fed minutes, PPI, we've got core PPI. Then Thursday we've got claims, we've got core CPI crap on Thursday, and then on Friday we've got import price index, consumer sentiment, the Michigan consumer sentiment. So we do have a lot of data coming out the next 3 sessions. So then let me ask you the next question. Outside of all that stuff, like this intraday, intra-week stuff, do you see us hitting, like, forget the technical aspects or the fundamental reasons or the macro, just your hunch, just your thoughts here? We're not going to hold to this because we know that the market changes over time. We know that unknown information in the market or Fed doing some shit or whatever. Do you see 40? What do you see as the end of the year price target? I'm not going to give some numbers. I'm going to give you, how about end of the year price targets? And then I got a second follow-up question.
I do think we are. I think we're very, very bullish. I think we're going
we are.
I think we're going a lot higher, to be honest.
Okay.
Now, the only thing that would really change my mind is, again, if Boeing spikes like crazy and this
Yeah,
little
yeah,
move
yeah,
that
yeah,
happened
yeah.
just now wasn't tolerated well. But personal opinion, I do think
Yeah,
we are
you're
heading.
allowed to change. Like you're allowed to change based upon the data
I mean,
you're
Captain, just look at the
positioning. But
trigger orientation. Like with the weekly trigger stacked on top of the monthly trigger, dips are expected to be bought until there are bearish monthly
you
divergences. We haven't
got it.
seen anything of that yet.
You got it,
We haven't.
doggy. Till you
So it
break that
does make sense
monthly,
that the market will keep going higher. Yeah, it does make sense to me.
and then
Especially if the hourly trigger now crosses above the daily trigger, that will put the trend higher. Again, anything can happen, and I wouldn't take a bet based off this,
yeah,
but I would say I certainly think we're headed higher.
yeah, we're just talking. We're just talking like shooting the shits. You know, smoking a
Yeah,
cigar, drinking a
yeah,
whiskey stuff.
yeah.
So what about I was gonna do a follow up and say, so it is to the right and up then, isn't it?
I hope. I hope because I have a humongous GME share position,
Mm-hmm.
and I would love to see that get an uplift draft with the market. If the market heads down to 400, it's not going to look good for me and my overall portfolio. So my hope is that it's always nicer when the market's moving higher. I'm a way better bull than I am beer. I am, in fact, I would say out of all traders that are good at making profit on the upside, I think I'm the worst at playing downside. Whenever the market has a green day, for some reason my portfolio is always green. May not make a ton of money that day, but I'll always make money. Whenever the market's red, even when I know things are bearish, I always find myself just trying to long bottoms instead of
Yeah,
shorting rips. I just long dips for no reason, even when I'm fully convinced we're bearish. It's the way I like operate. Like I always want to get long. Like I just like playing long. I hate playing short.
I've done.
So for
Good.
yeah, for my own sake, I hope the market pushes higher because I'm a way better trader on the long side than the short side.
I've reduced myself just being personally like I've traded both sides. I've traded the wheel. I've done it all, and I'm at this point where I like being long the market. It's easier. I feel better. It even helps my psychology, my psychology, my psyche. Helps my id. I don't know what it is about it. At this point in my life, I just like owning the market. I like owning the market. I like buying the market. I like it just it fits me at this point in my career. It's not a question of do I like going short. People ask me about futures all the time, and I'm like, I used to just trade futures, but I never had a life. So I try to or not so much. I don't trade futures as much as I used to. I'll trade them here and there, but and that's like I don't like doing put buying. They can pay really well, but oftentimes they don't. Most of my
Yep.
wins are from the long bull side of things, being a buyer as a bull, I guess. Not buying puts, but buying calls or buying the underlying that kind of stuff. So I've kind of cut most of that out. Sometimes they'll still short or sell the market, but like put buying is very rare for me these days. I was like trying to be that trader, but I understand people do better as a seller or as a bear or short the market, whatever it is their stances are.
I'm
So
jealous of them.
yeah, me
Listen,
too.
if I could
Absolutely.
if I could just flip my charts around, I'll make money both ways, but I'm limited. Again, I'm not the most experienced trader. I've been trading, options. I've really only been trading 3 years. So I hope that as my career progresses, I'll get better at trading the short side. But right now, I really have trouble trading short. I hope it changes. I am trying to work on it, but it's still a struggle for me. I'd say that and cutting trades too early, depends if you think that's a weakness or not, are probably my two biggest weaknesses right now. And I always try to understand what my strengths are, understand what my weaknesses are so that I could take them apart and try to work on the things that I'm
Yeah.
bad at instead of continuing to get better at the things that I'm already good at.
Yeah, that's a good response. Good response. Hold on. Let me see what these guys are saying here. When I'm short, I find myself rooting for bad things to happen so I can make a buck. Not fun. That's how I feel. I feel the same
Right.
way.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need something really bad to happen right now.
Yes.
For my
Yes.
own.
Not good for us as humans. It's like I'm short over the weekend. I hope a war breaks out. Like it's terrible. Terrible.
You know, what's funny too is like, so I was long over the weekend and I was like, well, we're not above the daily. We're not above the weekly. I'm like, none of this is stable. I'm like, I got to buy some cheap ass puts for Wednesday or something. They were like 3 cents or something, but I did it as a as a hedge in case anything happened over the weekend. And over the weekend, I've got I got like 300. I think I got 300 puts at 406, and then I got 300 call spreads for 440, 450. And I'm like, well, if this happens over the weekend and we start crashing, at least I got that going for me. And I'm like,
Yeah, you're
why
probably
do I
so
have those
thankful you
thoughts?
had
I
that
shouldn't be
in.
thinking that. What's
Yeah.
that?
I said you're probably so thankful you had that hedge over the weekend. I can't
Yeah.
imagine how scared I'd be if I was naked long.
I mean, how many people thought? I mean, people that were just short over the weekend must have been like, "We're fucked. We're going to make so much money," and we kind of went down, but not really. We just retested that prior low
Yeah.
in pre-market, and that was the signal that the buyers were still there, right? We in the pre-market, I think
Right.
we traded 418, 420 or something, and then immediately bounced, and it was like it's on. They're still there. The buyers are still here in the market right now.
Yep.
Do you think that's a function of do you have so my posit here is, or my posit on Monday was, the market doesn't like unknowns to itself. Like if they already know about something happening, I'll know, like if they know about something, they'll ride it and be positioned for it. If they're not positioned for a truly unknown action in the market, oftentimes you'll see the initial reaction, but then the retracement,
Yes.
and they'll follow along the path they were on, and possibly hedge. It's like Monday's open. I think when Monday opened, I was like, early morning, I was like, this looks like hedging's coming into the market. Once that hedging flow is delta hedged by dealers, you should see the market spring up into the close, and that's what happened. We ended up springing up in the close, so it's like, yeah, it's like, okay, they get it. Like they're giving you the opportunity to hedge, and they're staying on path where they want to go in this market. We were way, way oversold. And so I feel like this Monday was a prime example of they weren't positioned for it. They want this market to at least go up enough so that they can sell it down. So if they're in that oversold of conditions, you're talking about an actual market crash, and we weren't really ready for a market crash at that moment, right? So I don't. It just played out to me where it was fascinating to see that we didn't go down deeper on Monday, I guess. And it shows it's like lifting the skirt of the banks, and the banks are like, "Fuck you, no, we're not prepared for this, so we're going up the way we're originally going to go."
Yes. I
Um,
fully agree.
yeah, I don't know if I'm wording that's too simply or whatever, but it does beg that question that you're talking about. So when we got this bounce, we're going to come back down and check the daily trigger, check the hourly trigger, and we're going to find out if we get that roll to the downside from what happened this past weekend or not. Right? Are they just looking for that opportunity to exit the market and start rolling it down uh, due to some kind of anticipated future volatility? Do you? So when I was in the army, right? Some similar situations to this. You'd see the initial uh, retaliation, which you're seeing in Israel right now, then usually bombing, and then it usually takes anywhere from 2 weeks to 9 weeks to call people back, get them situated, hold under, hold over, assigned to units. You got to check them medically, check your IRR guys that are coming back to service, make sure that they're medically fit, assign them, and some of them you're going to most likely have to train up. So that could take weeks. I would assume here IDF is going to ramp all of that stuff up. But do you think that? I guess the question would be: have the initial volatility of the event from this past weekend? Do you think that volatility is going to hang over world markets
I think if
over the coming
other parties
weeks?
get involved, then yes. And if not, then no. I think if we see neighborhood countries start to get involved, then I think things can get really bad. But as long as Israel and Hamas are fighting it out between themselves, I don't think it should have such an impact on our markets. I
So
mean,
look
I was
for involvement from other countries as for volatility.
Yeah. Like last night, I saw even after all the news, there was a huge increase in put selling on SPY. Like that was my forecast last night. Like just falls, just we're going up. And I was surprised. I was like, it's shocking to me how bullish they're positioned, even with everything that's going on. They just don't care. So the market's going to go pretty much where they want it to,
Yeah.
and unless Russia, Iran, Lebanon, Egypt starts getting involved, I don't think it should affect much.
Yeah,
Again,
there's
I'm no expert. I'm no market expert. I'm no war expert. My strengths are trading with the triggers, trading based on data, but that's just what makes sense to me.
yeah, there's a I haven't spoken much about it, but from my perspective, I was like, these people I was like, this market is positioned long, or at least banks were positioned long heading into that weekend, and I don't think you could I think it was like a lifting the skirt moment where they're like, fuck you, we're not losing this uh
Yeah,
this like how do we unwind ourselves from this turn that we're anticipating quickly, and if we do unwind ourselves right where we are, what does it lead to? And it's probably leads to a sizable fast down like 10% move or something insane to the other 10% that we're already down, or 11%, whatever that was that we went down. Let me see what people are saying in the chat one more time, because we're gonna wrap up. Let me see if we can. Let me see what some of these people are saying. Put burn me bad. What do you guys think of Michael Barry short in the market? Will options chain be overpriced for tomorrow? What else do we got here? Trigger cross, TLT, 30-minute charts look killer. Iran could affect oil prices, and that will drop the market. Oil prices rocket. You've got some main ports. You've got one major port near or in Gaza, and then you do have major ports for. Do you think the tanker gang will get a ton of love? Like, does tanker gang get imported the most, or do you think that oil prices will skyrocket if those ports are closed due to other countries getting involved? I guess would be
that
it. Do you think that oil prices could go to like over $100 and all that kind of stuff?
there was actually, what did Oxy do today? I saw tons of bullish positioning on Oxy yesterday.
Let's take a look at it. It's weird they were in this.
No, it didn't move. Didn't move at all. But
Yep,
I
didn't
saw
move at all, and they
a
were in.
lot of sold puts on Oxy yesterday. I
Let's
wonder if something's brewing there. Like sometimes it takes a couple of days to kick in, because a lot of the upside that happens from these sold puts is the long delta that's given over to the dealers,
mm-hmm.
who then have to go into the market and purchase shares to hedge.
Yep.
So I wonder if something's going to brew with oil. That was my first thought when I saw Oxy. I was like, oh, someone's betting oil. But I don't know.
It's
It
coiling
didn't move
right
today, but
now. Positioning
I
is
would not be
long.
surprised if a move does come. Yeah, if a move does come for Oxy. It could be a news related event that happens overnight, but someone with money, with size, positioned very long in Oxy yesterday.
Yeah, this is CL right now. This is light crude, and they're starting to break out from this bull flag right here. They're like grinding sideways, but still no actual move. Still no actual move here. So I wondered if I looked at Brent and CO or CL. I looked at Brent and CL yesterday, and it looks kind of weird. There was one of them was showing. Let me see if I can bring up Brent. It was weird. Like Brent was showing. Yeah, Brent here still has this daily trigger problem up here. So I wondered if we got the initial squeeze off of oil and then we rejected. It's not showing it on CL, this daily trigger up here, but not pretend, but if you're trading oil, just be aware of if you're trading CL, I would say monitor Brent for $89 and see if there's any rejection off Brent. Brent can go its own way versus CL, but I would still be interested in whatever news pops out around $89 on Brent. I'd be paying attention, I guess, to CL and Brent at the same time. That's the only insight that I have on either of those. What else do we have here? Caught that red candle dip for $200. I started selling Rivian puts Thursday and Friday. Actually wasn't worried even if we dropped a lot. SPY trending again on ST. Israel called up 300,000 troops. Great stream today, gentlemen. Thanks, Legend. Let me see. Watching MPC and DVN for daily move next week. Thanks, GDad Gold. GDad Gold saying we did a great show today. What else we got going on down here? I think that's it. So if you guys have any more questions for James, any more comments, questions for James, now's the time to do it. If you have any questions for James, now is the time to do it. So come into the chat, or if you want to wish James safety for him and his wife, or do you want to say thanks for showing up, whatever it is you guys want to say in chat.
Yeah, I just want to say, Captain, actually, this stream did help me a lot. Like, my nerves were high, my anxiety was high. Like, I feel like just being here, like, really calmed me down a bit, got me out of the state that I was in. So I really do appreciate you bringing
Where's
me on
Mrs.
here.
Roland, man? Where is she? Is she there?
Roland's inside, hard at work.
At least let her wave to us. Like, shine the camera. Is she in pajamas?
Yeah, she's in pajamas. She's in bed with my laptop.
Do you guys have a big bottle of tequila there, or what?
We don't. But we have a nice bottle of wine that I'm about to crack open after this.
Giggity, giggity. Right on.
So yeah, I mean, this was great. So whoever tuned in, thank you so much for giving me the time to talk. Thank you so much for joining. Feel a lot better, strangely enough, but I guess that's how it works. Get your mind off it for an hour or so.
Dude, we were talking about you yesterday. Like everyone's caring, wondering about you. We heard someone mention that you were stuck in Israel yesterday, and I freaked out. I'm like, I gotta call him, find out if he's okay.
Everybody that gave well wishes, it really means a lot. I appreciate it from everyone.
So I'm gonna read some of the people off talking to you guys here. I'm gonna read some comments to you, James. Let me see what I got here. Beartown Sheriff saying, great to hear your J-roll. King Cow T, YT saying, thanks, James. Wish you the best out there. Be safe. Spaceman003 saying, thanks, James. Followed on Twitter. Also, be safe, man. Fermi's pair of socks saying, stay safe out there. Thanks for taking time to walk us, to talk to us. Des C saying, stay safe. Nito California saying, stay safe, James. Career Low saying, thank you for your insights, James. Stay safe. We got Bumbledime saying, thank you very much for showing up to the show today. Bless you, buddy. Sam802 saying, great to see you, James, and thanks for giving us a peek behind the curtain. Hoping you can come home soon. Blur Blop said, stay safe, man. Stay safe. Thanks for all you share with Gavin. Nino California brought up the tequila fountain just now. So he remembered the tequila fountain, brother. Mr. Talking Monkey is asking you a question. He says, have you been talking to locals? That city is a key city for major religions. Not just religions, but people too, right? We got Arabs, we've got Muslims, we've got Jewish people, and then we've got Israelites, all these people under the Israelite flag. Let's see what we've got here. He says, have you been talking to locals? Are people just used to this kind of crazy there? If you could answer
people
that.
Are kind of crazy, but people are not used to this kind of crazy, and everybody is really shaken up way more than usual. There have been terrorist attacks in the past. This is the idea is nothing new or shocking to the people of Israel, but this really, really, really shocked a lot of people, the extent of it. There hasn't been 1,000 killed Israelis in decades and decades and decades. So yes, the locals are very, very shaken up. And even though Israelis are more tougher by nature, everybody's inside, and there's barely anybody on the streets. So that's what we got out of it. Normally, they're not as shaken up as this. This one really hit hard and hit home.
Yeah, I'm beside myself, man. Some of the depravity that I've seen, and
yes,
it's weird. I don't know how to. I haven't been able to digest it all because when I was in the Army, I would see some things like that. But from a soldier's perspective, you have your agency, or you feel like you have. You don't really have your agency, but you feel like you have your agency. Um, I have people that are armed with me, that kind of stuff, and I feel relatively safe. But from a civilian's perspective, um, seeing that stuff. And matter of fact, I saw some at the rave in particular. I was able to see a video where some police officers were able to mount some kind of a defense to, and they were running a screen against these terrorists with pistols.
I
And
saw that. I know
yeah,
what you're
man,
talking about.
in some kids that were celebrating peace, trying to get away as these police officers doing what they were doing, exhibiting bravery that is like when you run into a fight like that. Yeah, it's a hard thing to square away. It's a hard thing to square away for the civilians that were experiencing what they were experiencing, and then seeing those police officers doing what they did, just running into fire.
Yeah,
Very moving, man. So I feel for those people that were involved, now the people that lost their lives, and of course even the people that survived. It blew me away. So,
yeah,
all of our thoughts and prayers are with you. I know that's like a sounding call from some political stuff, but it's not. It's being completely serious. That people are thinking about you. They care about you. They care about your people. And they don't want to see people doing what the depravity, or even forced into the depravity that they committed. And then the people that experience that depravity is, horrific. It's nothing less than horrific. And then seeing the reaction that Israeli IDF, us police, even regular civilians have to do to protect their lives is shocking to say the least.
yeah.
Um,
It's a far dream, but hopefully there will be peace soon.
yeah, man, definitely. Let's see what anyone else is saying.
And if I get any updates on any sort of flight info, I'll definitely be sure to reach out with it.
Yeah, we want to know, man. So if you at any point are able to get out, or if you go off radar, I don't know if they allow sat phones. Do they allow sat phones in Israel? I don't know if they do or don't. Some countries over there
Not
don't.
sure. I will say one final thought. It's just I was speaking about this with my wife, and you never really think anything like this can happen to you. 2 weeks ago, I was sitting in my apartment in New York. Um, Never could have possibly dreamed that I'd be stuck in Israel in middle of a war in 2 weeks. So if you wake up healthy and you're not sick and you have people that love you and you're able to fly, you're able to leave your house,
Yeah.
open restaurant. There's a lot to be thankful for. Life doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to be making $1 million in the market. Just waking up, people that love you and having freedom is something that's more than enough to be grateful for. And I definitely understand that a lot better now.
You know,
So that's one message I would just try to reiterate as we wrap up the stream.
your wife and you are probably going to, or likely will be susceptible, even though you're in an apartment, you're likely going to be susceptible to some kind of traumatic um, after effects from this. Some PTSD you could possibly be susceptible to when you get home, or if we're all praying for you to get home. If you get home, um, promise me you're at least like going to be aware of that, or make sure you seek out some kind of counseling of some kind. If those things come to you in the future, they get really funky.
Absolutely.
All right. Stay safe. No need to be a hero, brother. You're like, protect your wife at all costs. Who else? Let me see if anybody has any more final wrap up thoughts inside of the chat here. Hold on. It says here you might look into the Nazarene Fund. They offer help to get Americans and others from out of harm's way. So look into something called the Nazarene Fund if you want, or talk to your wife about something called the Nazarene Fund.
Thank you.
Mr. Motaki Monkey saying I'm going to short Hamas. Good luck, and I hope you and your wife the best. Be safe. Amen. God bless. Stay safe. 100% well said, James. Peace, brother. Thanks for sharing some time with us. Binky GTT chiming in saying, "Be well, James."
Thank you,
I'm gonna
everyone.
give you some names, man. So people are thinking about you out there. I want you to know there's hundreds, if not thousands. We've got I think 2,000 people watching cumulative at this point. You on the stream, man. So you've got people rooting for you out there. There's
Wow.
a ton of comments coming through right now, wishing you safety and security, brother. So I
Thank
want
you
you to
so
know
much.
that FinTwit's behind you, man.
Thank you. Really means a lot, and I really appreciate it.
All right, we're gonna wrap up the interview with James here. I'll give you guys a brief synopsis in the coming couple days. We're gonna probably stop the stream short here early today, just so I want to touch back base with James via text messages and just talk to him privately um, um, at some point today. So, James, what do you got for us, man? You want to say goodbye? You want to smile for us so we can see your
Yeah.
handsome face?
I mean,
Can your
thank
wife
you,
stick her
everybody.
head out and just wave at us or something? She gotta tell her to hide behind the wall and stick her head out and wave, or just tell your wife. Just say there's a ton of people hoping that you stay safe.
And he says that we're getting a lot of stay safe and well wishes from the stream.
Yeah, stay safe, and we're gonna cut you loose, let you go here, man. And give me a shout out via text later on. Let's have a drink together. I want to can I get booze delivered to you or something? Like find the local liquor store and get me their number or something so we can all buy you a bottle. Like we'll buy you a bottle and have it delivered to you.
Yeah, and we'll have a drink. I could use it.
Dude, send me a link to the local liquor store that delivers if there is one.
Not in Israel, but I'll pick one up.
Or how about this? Shoot me. How about do me a solid? Seriously, send me your fucking PayPal, and I'm gonna send you $100 to buy a bottle of whatever you like from Trade the Trigger Gang. So send it to me right now. Send me a fucking. Oh no, send me a PayPal link or something or your PayPal name, and I'll send you $100 so you can buy yourself a bottle of tequila, brother. Please. Right. I know you're like you don't need the $100. We want to buy you a bottle of tequila to hold you over.
I appreciate the gesture.
You have to accept. You have a choice here. So
you guys are all really nice here.
We gotta say we bought a bottle for our homeboy stuck in Israel. So
yeah. Okay.
All right, man. I'll talk to you soon. Later, brother. Love you and I miss you. Stay safe.
Okay. I appreciate
situational awareness, man, at all times. Please.
Yeah.
Don't fucking trust anybody. I don't care who they are. Nobody. Open eyes always.
It's like that's how we're walking through the streets. So.
All right, brother. I appreciate that, man. Stay safe. Situational awareness, brother. See you soon.
See you guys.
Later, bro. All right. So here, let me let's get rid of this right here. So we had James Roland show up today. Our boy James Roland, friend of the show, longtime friend of the show. On vacation in Jerusalem as war began between Israel and Hamas over the weekend. Surely not an easy situation to be in. Sure, I think he kept himself, or he's keeping hold of himself, at least publicly on the stream, right? Like by being interviewed, but there's no possible way that can be an easy experience for someone to have to be going through, anybody to be going through right now. All right, so let's go over what to expect in the coming days, and let's take a quick look at Bookmap. Hold on here. Sorry about that. So we're going to take a quick look at Bookmap, and you can see here on Bookmap that this is the hourly trigger, right? You see this here? So here's the hourly trigger right down here. We're just kind of grinding on the hourly, the daily, the half-hour trigger over here. And we have a larger move to the downside. So I want you to be aware of this this demand that's much, much lower here. That's down at 43.62. 43.62 on ES down there is that next level. See if we can bring this out a little bit. you kind of want to see this. Not kind of. You kind of need this to hold here. This hourly trigger. There's a little bit. There's a little bit more demand down this way here, and then as you can see, it looks up. There's another level way, way, way lower, but this is the one down here that I'd be paying attention to. Let me see if I can raise this up a little bit here. And we'll see if this level is going to hold here. Let's keep that open right there. Yeah, just like that. And we'll leave that up on our screener here to see if this support holds. Now, on the trigger screen, we're going to switch over to the trigger screen really quick. And bulls are looking for well, first of all, you see the roll here in velocity. I want you to take a look at this. Let's look at it on a 30-minute chart is a better place to look at it. Let's take a look at a couple things here. We can see here that 30-minute velocity is the one that I like to check. That's the most consistent one for me. So let's take a look right here on velocity. We've got a topping in 15. We got a topping in the half hour and the hourly velocity. Daily velocity, though, is coming up, right? So we're going to expect where we want to see daily velocity come under, right? We want to see some negative velocity here on the lower time frames, the 15-minute, the 30 minutes, and the full hour here. But we are expecting the daily to hold is the point that I'm trying to make here. So if you're finding that the daily velocity should hold and that we're waiting for a pullback into hourly velocity, it would beg the question of the safe trade being lower, somewhere down here, okay? Some kind of a buy down below on SPOOs. Right now, that's at 432.01. And between now and tomorrow, that should come up to 433.85, 435, somewhere in here by tomorrow. So the question begs, can I buy a dip down here that will be supportive? Or if price breaks below on bad news tomorrow, on some of the reports that we're getting, we begin to reverse to the downside, right? So we don't want to see this. We don't want to see, let me get rid of this one here. Clean this up. What we don't want to see is price break below the hourly trigger and the hourly and daily trigger form a cluster, a bearish reversal to the downside. So you don't want to see anything like this, right? Where price comes down, right? Price breaks down and it's not caught by the dip by the hourly trigger, but in fact gets underneath the hourly trigger and then rejects, and you get a power move to the downside to retest 429.46 or possibly even lower. So this hourly is going to be pretty important, right? Does this hold? And we're beginning to get across on the 1 minute trigger right here. So we'll see if this will lend any support to price. So on the 1 minute trigger here, I can delete this here. On the 1 minute trigger here, we're getting the cross right now of the half hour. This should lend some support. And we should, as the hours progress, get some support down below here. But we are being set up by economic news coming in tomorrow, right? So do we hold here and go higher, or do we break underneath all of these averages here and create a bear cluster, right? So for me personally, if you're looking for the safest trade, if you're trying to take something long here, you're good long as price stays above this hour and half hour trigger. We still have not had a secondary cross from the upside, but bears do like to see that. You get your first one right here. And then bears always, or sellers always like getting that power move down, where you have a failure by bulls to move higher, and they roll it to the downside. So what you end up seeing here is you see a fake out, price goes higher, and then there's a failure here, right? And they send you to the depths of hell down here, right? Some kind of a failure in here. So if you're a bull looking for a long trade here, it behooves you to, it behooves specifically where we are specifically for where we are, and the news that we have releases coming out tomorrow. If you're a bull, it would behoove you to first watch price come higher, right? And then for a pullback to happen, to confirm the reversal, and not enter another long trade unless it bounces and begins to move. So there's 2 points here. The first point is, wherever this is, you want to see strength in that move to test this prior high, right? You don't want to see price come up just a little bit and then immediately fail, right? That's not a good sign for bulls. It's not a sign for you to take along there either, right? You don't want to see this. So it would be prudent for you as a bull to see price come up, come back down, a nice big squeeze, come back down, and then start to defend that 1 minute trigger. So let's look at this on Webull, okay? So on Webull, go to a 15-minute chart here on Webull. We've got the daily trigger here, right? The daily trigger is sitting at 433.85. Parked right here, right? Hourly trigger's on 432.01. And we're going to talk about what to expect here. So you've got, hold on here. This is Friday right here. What you don't want to get involved in, I'm going to make this larger here for you so you can see it here. I'm going to explain to you what you don't want to get involved in, okay? If you're a bull. So for continuation's sake, let's take a look at this right here. So for continuation's sake, if you're a bull and you want to buy a dip, listen here closely, okay? If you're a bull, you cannot buy a dip unless we break above again, right? Right up there, right? Hold on a second here. I'm fucking this up here. Put in the trash. So unless price regains 435.15 or so, right? You can't really take this long, can you? It's pretty simple there, right? Unless price regains its footing above the 21 or 27 EMA, you've got no trade, right? What the one key point I'm trying to make to you here is, if price breaks below down to this hourly trigger, you might be saying to yourself, hey, Cap, should I buy that dip down there? And the answer is no. You want to wait for that dip bounce, and to come higher and retest with the hourly trigger. So this hourly is reliable, but now for where we are with price, what you don't want to do is you don't want to get caught buying this dip here, right? It breaks below, you get caught underneath, and then it's more downside is my point. So like this here, once we begin to break down, you still don't want to get involved in this. So what you need to see if you're a bull, if we continue to break down, is you want to see the bounce off the hourly, the break above, and the successful retest of the daily trigger at that point, with the hourly coming back up to help you. So this needs to come up for you to want that, to get that continuation to the upside, is the point that I'm trying to make. So again, it's always going to come back to this hourly trigger, right? So if price breaks below the daily and it bounces off hourly, you're still not buying it. You're going to wait until price gets above. And this is where your safe zone is as a bull, with price actually higher than the hourly and the daily trigger. A great bull trap here would be, hold on here. A great bull trap here would be for you to feel like, yeah, hey, I'm going to wait for price to pull back. I'm going to buy a dip, and then you get burned down here, right? And then boom, it's to the downside, and you're caught in that trade. So even if we pull back to the hourly trigger, you're going to wait and watch to see if it bounces above, and then you'll take the trade on a successful retest of that daily trigger. So very important key point here, right? You either get a successful retest here, we start heading higher, you can take a long and you're off and running. You're not taking the trade down here. You're not going to take that bounce. You're going to wait for that bounce to be successful, come back down and retest as this hourly trigger then comes up and supports the move higher, and then you'll re-enter for more longage to 441, 444, that kind of stuff. 444.0 stuff like that. So for right now, there's no trade for a bull here. I don't see a trade for a bull. I'm looking to see. I'm waiting to see if daily trigger holds and the hourly trigger comes up and above, and price begins to go higher. Or I'm going to be waiting for price to come down, bounce, come back up, and then the hourly trigger to move up, and then I'll take that trade if it starts to run. So no real trade here for a bull, and we've got news coming out into Thursday. So if you're a bull looking for a trade here, I would say to you that you could take a successful retest of. Make sure I got this right here. This over here for you. Hold on a second. You could trade a successful retest from here to here, from 435 to 437. But you don't really have a trade until you get above that previous high over here at 437, or that hourly trigger comes up. So let's put this on a 5-minute chart. What I'd like to see happen here, from a bullish perspective, what I'd like to see happen would be some kind of weakness down here, some kind of fight back, and then that move higher there. And I want to really see this. I really want to see this hourly trigger lend the support, and I want to take that trade right there, if possible. That's what I think happens. I'm going to move this down somewhat. Hold on here. I'm getting some wonkiness going on here. This thing does not want to work for me. There we go. So this hourly trigger, I think if I had to guess here for what I'm looking for, where's this hourly trigger? 432? Yeah, it's even lower. It's down here. Right down there it is. So from my perspective, I'm at a wait and see game here. I want to see if this bounces, and I want to see this move back up for me to take a trade, or I would be open to a trade if this holds and this hourly then crosses, and we get that nice bounce down here, and we start heading higher. So I'm definitely in wait and see game here as a bull. Hold on here. I'm definitely in wait and see game here as a bull. Let me know if you are in that same boat in the chat on wait and see what the market's going to show. Or if you're like, hey, Cap, I'm buying this dip and we're off and running to the upside. We're going to go hit R3. We're going to go slam into 440 by tomorrow, Cap. You're wrong. You just start running it up. Personally, I want to see that. I want to see that pullback. I want to see that one right there. And then I want to take that trade right there. That's my trade right there, I think. Something like that. So you can pull this back here so that you guys have it. You can do a snapshot of that. Something like that is what I'm looking for. It looks like I'm losing. Looks like my system's crashing here in the background. And I don't know exactly why. You're still in calls. Yeah, you can be. I can't say that. I can't say that I wouldn't take that trade or be buying calls here. Now positioning on the tool is saying stay short. Positioning on the tool is saying stay short. The one thing I would say to you here would be, the only thing I would say to you here would be, if you do that squeeze up higher and we blast down here, just be aware of that. You need to make sure that holds. That's for me. That would be the trade that I would take here. I'd be waiting, take the squeeze, and then grab the bounce. For me personally, looks like we're gonna start squeezing here, so we'll see. And we're getting a half-hour cross right now. This is bullish. So if you are a bull, this is your time. If you want a time to buy a dip, I can understand you want to do that right now. I can understand. Let's bring this over right now. Starting to get a cross right here. See if we can get that. See if we can get that that squeeze higher right here. And that right there, and then boom to the upside. Something just like that right there. Are you taking calls here? I guess would be the question. Normally, I'd be like, fuck yeah, 0 dates all day long. Like right here is like prime candidate for 0 dates. It looks good to me. They're cautiously long, hoping for a DT retest and move higher, but protect with putback spread right on. Smooth and wrinkly brain and smooth. I see smooth brain and wrinkly brain comments in the chat right now. Kind of cool having James on today, huh? I'm pretty impressed that he was able to get here with us. So we can slide that over and just take up the entire screen there. So we can get that larger. We did lose. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Yeah, J-Roll's the man. I love him. So we get along really well. We hit it off a couple of years ago or something, and we've been friends ever since. And a lot of we align a lot of ways in our politics and our life values and values for wives and children and family and all that kind of stuff. The hourly trigger should come up in the next few hours. It's a good question. Someone's saying, should the hourly trigger come up by tomorrow? It should come up tonight. The trap here for a bull is this. So I'm going to show it to you. So right now everything looks great, right? You've got the hourly trigger coming up. You're waiting for the successful retest, but let's talk about what happens if you get some bad news, right? And velocity is still not on your side here, so hourly velocity is still on your side. So this comes up, right? And price, let's say here's your daily trigger right here. You get your weakness in SPY, let's say, right? You come up here, you come back down, and you start getting some bad reports. And all this bullishness turns into a reversal where you get the power of the 1 minute trigger, the 5 minute trigger, the hourly trigger, the daily trigger, and it goes against you. So I would say this. You do not want to lose this hourly and daily. If you see the hourly and daily being lost, all bets are off for bulls. So you do not want to see a break of 432. You do not want to see a break of 433 for continuation to the upside. So we're going to watch this squeeze right here, see if the bulls and the buyers are still here. We'll see if they can squeeze this up and over. We want to see if the bulls are actually here, or if this is just a squeeze for more positioning for downside moves. You don't want to see any failures in here. You don't want to see any weak bumps. You want to see like big squeeze up, pull back, and then the confirmation trade to move higher here. We'll just this price action will show it to you, believe it or not, if the buyers are actually here or not. We're gonna find out right now. It ain't gonna take long here. Am I more cautious of crossovers that take place in non-regular trading sessions? So I follow the triggers on ES and after hours, overnight trading, and then I switch to SPX for a true understanding of the cash market, although I'm trading SPY as well. We'll use SPY for my actual trading. Now, what I don't like about this specifically is there's no need to be trying to second guess here. This calls for patience. So let's say we bloodbath it, and I'm sitting on my hands, right? But we hold this, right? We come back up here, come back down over here, and now we have the cross of the daily. Something like that. And I can have my finger on the trigger, have a trade set up. So if I see that confirmation trade there, we come back down and test it, squeeze up, come back down, and we're off and running. Like I can pretty much like this is the place to put risk on, right? Like here. That's for me to put the risk on. Up here, question marks on that, right? Or we squeeze up and I'll have less question marks if we turn around. So there's no real trade here for me right now. There's no compelling like I should get long here. So kind of like need more action, need more price action up, more crossing of the daily trigger above the hourly trigger above the daily trigger. Not seeing that, sit on hands if you're a bull. That's what I think. And I think you have time. You know, it's kind of like when I was buying that 418, 420. There was a day or two before where you could have bought it, and we blasted down, right? Remember, let's go back and look at that. So let me see if I can bring this up here. There was a this is where was it? So let's see if I can bring this up for you here. There was a day right back here. So I remember I was watching and I saw people on FinTwit that bought this one right here. I remember. I remember everything. You guys think I don't remember, but I know bulls are buying this. I'm for a factual. Bulls are buying this. We went up into that close, and there was one more drop down, right? And then that was the actual bottom, right? So let's look at that. Let's pretend we add this to where we are right now, right? So you're over here, and your thought is, well, they're going to buy this dip. We're going to continue on, right, to the upside. But surprise, surprise, we're down there, right? So where we are for right now just begs the question to wait in case this happens, or we just start running it back up again. You can jump on board over here. Does that make sense? So I think we just some patience. Let this news start to come out tomorrow morning. Maybe there's some weakness, and then it bounces. Get back to the move at hand to go to the upside. I think there's just exude some patience here. If you're a bull, be patient, sit on your hands, and wait for. Be a bull. Have some patience. Be patient, I guess, is all I have to say here. And just give it till tomorrow. Let the market breathe a little bit and see if you can get a better buyable dip lower. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for an early morning retest. And I don't want to get caught in a reversal. I don't want to get caught underneath the daily trigger, underneath the hourly trigger, and they just start ripping us to the downside. So the setup is there. There's a bull trap hiding there is my point. There's a bull trap here. They're setting you up for it, and you don't want to get caught in it. So if you get caught in that bull trap and they start setting us lower, you're going to be pissed. You're going to be angry. All right, so She Kim of a Princess King is saying they're going to be patient. Yeah, Jimmy Berry's making the same point. He's saying 434.60 needs to hold, or we're going lower. So have some patience where the market is right now. I guess the point here is you can be bullish here. Just let it show you the way. Let price show you the way first. Give it some time to to let price show you the way. You don't have to be the first guy in. You don't have to be the first guy in for a long. You can be the second, third guy. Just don't be the 10th guy. Like, you don't have to be number 1. You don't have to be number 2. You be number 3, and you get out at like number 7 or 8, and you're going to make more money than the people that are trying to buy 1 and sell 10. You want to be right in that creamy fill, and you want to be right in that middle. You want the safety of Captain on one side of you and the safety of James Roland on the other side, giving you a creamy filling, warm over feeling. You can see some weakness in SPY right now heading into the close. You got a 15-minute chart, some blood right now. And there's that trap that I was talking to you about earlier. So let's talk about that trap. So I showed you this earlier, right? I said a big famous thing these bears will do is they'll get their first cross above. You see it right there. And then they get the second cross right here, and it's normally a power move down. The second, you get the first cross, second cross, and it's usually violent to the downside. And so that's what they're doing right now. They've given you a violent cross to the downside, reversed it on you. We're now trading down below at R1. You can see R1 down here. Parked on R1, there's R1 and R2. We'll see if that holds. We know the half-hour trigger and the daily trigger is just below. Let's take a look on the triggers here. Let's have a look at our half-hour trigger. Let's look at the half-hour trigger in a 30-minute chart right now. This is the one that I like to watch here. So let's look at that 30-minute chart. And these still aren't at zero yet, are they? They're still not rolling lower yet, are they? So still probably some more downside to come. Not guaranteed, but I want to see some more blood, I guess. I want to see more blood in the marketplace here. I want to see something more like this. I'd like to see something like that right there. So we'll see what you guys. Let's see what you guys think in the chat. See what your interpretations are. Or they hold well. Crossovers occur during regular trading session. So let me see if I can word this better. When you get the initial break over the daily trigger, right? So price goes above, squeezes above. We talked about this yesterday, right? You get the initial squeeze over the daily trigger. Price comes back down into the daily trigger. Your job is to sit on your hands and see if the algos buy. So if the algos do buy that daily trigger recheck, that retest, that kiss trade, you can jump on it whenever that bounce happens. But if it breaks through that retest, you don't want to be down there buying, do you? So you're not actually buying that bounce. You're not actually going to be buying this. So if price comes down, You're not trying to like, oh, I'm going to jump on a landmine there. I'm going to jump on a landmine there. You're actually looking for the bounce first, right? The confirmation process, and then you're picking your poison up here. You're not buying this, or you're not like buy here, DCA here, and hope and pray that it's going to bounce and come up, and then you can add here and that kind of stuff. You don't do any of that. You're just going to wait and watch the price action. If the price action tells you we're going higher, then you jump in over here. Your buy is actually over here. So it's not over here. You're not trying to save lives. You're not jumping on hand grenades over here. You're waiting for one of two things. You're either waiting for price to confirm above in the cross on the 1 and the 5 minute to take it higher, or you're waiting for the roll down and the confirmation move up to jump on it. So you got time. There's time here for you to look for price action to show you the way. And right now, the price action is showing you've got no long trade here. You got nothing. Not right here, not where we are. Not statistically to prove that you're going to always be right. So you got here. 20 more seconds. Thank you for following, Lauren. Yeah, thank you, Lauren, for following. I appreciate it. Let's see what you're saying. Waiting for the big payout. Right on. 434 puts are pumping. In my opinion, we just saw the high for the month of October. So Jason Myers is saying that's the high. We're going to roll from here to the downside. Jason Myers, if you think that this is the high, you want to get underneath 432. You want to get underneath 432 and start rejecting for that to be your thesis. So if you get that, if you get price underneath 432, I will tend to agree with you, brother. Tend to agree with you there. Between two guys, baby. The warm fern, baby. Absolutely. There's no trade right now. There's no trade for you. Even as a bear, like you can trade this right here if you want as a bear, but put your stops above. The real trade for you as a bear, though, is like a breakdown over here, and then price will come up and fail. If you see that price fail right there, that's your short opportunity, and this should blast down in the depths of hell. It should be like some kind of like failure. What do I call it? Like you let the bulls that are being drowned up for a brief moment of air. Like you're drowning them for apples, and then you let them their head up, give them one quick breath. They think they're out of the water. Like down here, comes up here, rejects, and then boom, there it is. So I'm waiting for that weakness. If there is no weakness and we actually blast higher and come back down, then the bear trade is done, and it's actually a bear. It's actually a bear trap. Now, there is something else fascinating here, and that would also be that whatever news is coming, not to expect more weakness than 430. And I'll be honest, like 430 is not so bad, is it? So even if we do get bad reports, I'm not going to expect a move lower than 430, which is pretty good also. So I guess I would say as Captain Jim James, I would enjoy a buy at 430, although I really don't want to see price break below that daily trigger and that hourly trigger combination of the two. I don't want to see either of these two break. Although I really would like to buy 430 again. I honestly would. So give me that 430, I guess, would be my... Because I'm not long the market, give me 430. How about charm flow? We need time on our hands. So if we're going to move into positive gamma, we're going to need time at price on our hands. So if we can hold this, yeah, you'll get that charm. You will get that charm, but that's still that time. Like daily trigger needs to hold. It needs to consolidate on that daily trigger and the hourly trigger, and needs to begin to march to the upside. You won't get that charm, though, if you begin rejecting to the downside on that 432, 430. You can rip that charm off, like psh, 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 rip that charm up and just throw it in the fucking trash if we trade below 432 and 430. But yes, charm will kick in at some point. That's a good question. That's actually a great question. All right, so that's all I think I got for you. So I have to get off right now. I've got my computer is crashing in the background, and I need to reach out to James Roland and give him. I want to try to get him a bottle of wine or whiskey or wine, whiskey, or some tequila or something for tomorrow. So expectations for tomorrow. If we're gonna go to SPY and we have news coming out. What I don't want to see tomorrow, or expectations for tomorrow, and even into Friday, I'm going to expect some weakness. So I expect weakness in tomorrow. I'm going to expect the morning to be sold in anticipation of these reports. But I do expect this daily trigger, this 432, to hold. Or even possibly for this to come up a little bit, but to expect it to hold, and that we are going to make our way higher to 444. I'm bullish here as of right now that we're going to get a successful retest, but I do want to warn you that if by tomorrow morning you begin to see price reject below this 432, that you're going to any kind of rejection here, hourly triggers up here at the daily, and you start seeing rejection, I'll forecast you a definite price target down below of 430. And if we get below the 430 at any point, and the hourly trigger starts to chase to the downside, and the daily trigger begins to chase to the downside, we could be looking for significant downside moves into Friday. Those targets down below that 430, below 430, would be 420, believe it or not. 420. So that's a pretty significant move, right? So be aware of price action being king. I want you to know that even if we get this weakness down here, what you don't want to see is the pinning underneath. If we do, and the hourly trigger comes down, we will be looking and seeking out that 420 and possibly even lower down here into Friday. So today or tomorrow, overnight, the news price action is going to be king. You do not want to be underneath 430. You know that. You know that 432 is the line to hold for bulls to have continuation of the upside. And I personally am going to be looking for weakness, hold, get above, and get the help from that hourly trigger to begin to make that move higher. Right now, currently, no position into tomorrow or Friday. I am going to play the waiting game and look for a dip to buy tomorrow on the open. If we do end up getting some bad news and we begin to reject 432, we'll have a breakdown to 430. If we pin and hold under 430, all bets are off the table, and look for a major downside move to 420. You guys have any questions for me? You guys have anything at all for me for the rest of today? Charm flow. You're not going to see charm flow until we get above the daily trigger. We retest that daily trigger and the hourly trigger breaks above. You're not going to see that charm flow yet. You need to see that price action go higher. Any other questions right now? Let me look at Twitch really quick. Hey, thanks, G-Dad Gold. You guys have a good day today? Everything was good? Please like, support these videos. Please donate. Please, what do? Like, support, comment in the YouTube stream. Repost these streams every day if you could. I appreciate you guys showing up to get to see James Roland give his takes. You guys got to see live video from Jerusalem. I thought that was pretty fucking cool. Looks pretty ominous and scary, too. It's very quiet out there in the city. Did you notice how quiet the city was? There wasn't a bunch of background noise in Jerusalem. Okay, so good. I'll see. Good day for oil today, and I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow. So be safe. Be hedged if you own this market. I'm hedged out till tomorrow, so if you're not hedged in this market, today is a great place to be hedged, right? There is known vol out there. If you wake up tomorrow and the war is expanded in its scope and you didn't see it coming and you own this market, you got nobody to blame, right? You know what a putback spread is. You know that those pay if we go up. They cover you if we go to the downside. You were given a reprieve over the weekend and into today, right, for any kind of major negativity that could be coming. We traded 437.22 in the high at R2. So there's no reason for you to not be hedged if you own this market in some way. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, you're hedged. I didn't sleep this weekend. I've been all over the place with like my fear and managing emotions and all that kind of stuff in my positioning. So I'm with you on that. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Tune in, baby. Stock Market Show. Try to be here every fucking day. Trying, but I'm doing a bunch of work in the background too. This morning I've got a bunch of work going on with some developers that are kind of meeting my expectations. I'm looking for developers that have experience with React and Polygon.io. If you know any developers with experience with those two things, Python, React, and Polygon .oi or .io. If you have any of that experience or you know any developers with that experience, give me a shout because I'm kind of like my hands are tied right now on all of this stuff. I'll talk to you guys soon. I'll talk to you in the morning. Be safe out there. Call your loved ones, tell them you love them, and I'll see you tomorrow.